Green flag waves. We're in action here on Fall Classic Night 1 at Humberstone. In a 1 and 2, it's the Mustangs up front, battling side by side. Lubeck trying to take the lead on the inside, has not been able to do so yet. This might be the run. No, if Toddy's going to hang tough. Good run amongst the Mustangs at the front.
Ashton Dickey already up from 7th to 3rd, and he's looking for the lead, but here comes Alex Riley in the 17th. He'll go bonsai to the bottom as if Toddy off the pace in the 38S. We'll see what race officials will see when Sam, if he's able to putt it back to the pits, or if we will have to put out the caution flag, as Lubeck still leads Alex Riley and Dickey back to turn number 1, and I believe we will throw the yellow here for Sam if Toddy. Yes, we will. Caution lights are coming on.
Yellow is out for If Toddy, who's come to a complete stop now. Ashton Dickey also off the pace after being 3 wide coming out of 4 that last lap, trying to take the lead in that 1A ride. But he's off the pace. If Toddy has stopped, and I believe Riley going to be scored as your leader.
Restart here at Humberstone, right between the blue barrels and the cones. Off turn number 4, green lights will come back on, and away we go again. And once again, the Mustang will outpower the Cobalt. At turn number 1, Lubeck takes off. Riley in second, Kenny Hare in third as they head down the back straightaway. Here comes Riley down to the bottom of Lubeck entering turn 3.
If Toddy immediately bails off after the start of that lap, so 38 looks like he'll be done for this race anyways. Meanwhile, at the front, Lubeck still out in front, barely ahead of Riley at the stripe that last time by. Riley working the inside. He'll try to muscle by and take the lead and clear into 3 and 4. Here comes Lubeck with a head of steam on the outside. He'll fight back. Kenny Hare looking there as well. They are coming to 2 to go.
2 laps to go. Alex Riley leading John Lubeck and Kenny Hare to turn number 1 as they work off the corner. They'll head down the back straightaway. Kenny Hare in the 5K trying to get to the 2 spot. Underneath the 14 of Lubeck, couldn't do it. Clean sheet up in the air this time by. They're all chasing Alex Riley around Humberstone.
2 of the very best in the mini stocks, although I say that Kenny Hare might be off the pace. That 5K suddenly dropping a couple spots as Hadler goes around the outside. But Hare and Riley have been 2 of the best at any given track on any given night in Southern Ontario throughout this 4-cylinder class. And Riley's going to show why he takes the win in heat number 1 ahead of John Lubeck. Hare hangs on for 3rd. Hadler settles for 4th. And Tina Ronning rounds out your top 5.
They work in the start zone in turn number 4. Green flags up in the air. We're underway with heat race number 2 for the Bosch's Car Service Mini Stocks. And it's going to be Smokey Steve Robinson in that Chevy Cavalier. We'll lead them into turns number 1 and 2 for the first time ahead of LaFontaine, Trivieri, and LaFrancois.
Good battle for 3rd and trying to work his way through from shotgun on the field. That's Crumby in the 63. Working down low. Trivieri really struggling through that corner. A little slideways, almost bouncing off LaRock there in the 91. Out front, still Robinson.
Steve Robinson up front. Here comes LaFontaine underneath down the back straightaway. The TMR 19. Hello. New race leader is Tyler LaFontaine entering turn number 3. Robinson still there in the second, fighting hard on that outside. They're side by side at the line.
Pretty sure Tyler wanted to be in a Sportsman tonight, but some mechanical issues are going to stop him from racing in that one. So he jumps in the 19, normally piloted by Hannah Rothwell. We've seen Hannah get to victory lane in that race car at Merrittville earlier in 2024. Now Tyler, who knows a thing or two about driving a mini stock, has got good equipment to contest here at Humberstone tonight.
Former track champion here at the Humberstone Speedway for Tyler LaFontaine down the back straightaway. He's opened up the lead over Smokey Steve Robinson and Brendan LaFrancois, running very well in 3rd in that 24, as Crumby and LaRock will battle for 4th here with 2 laps to go.
A little bit of smoke out the back of the Olivier LaRock 91, but no issues there. He continues on. Crumby trying to close in on him. Meanwhile, here comes LaFrancois in that 24. one of the more improved drivers in the mini stock division throughout 2024 is the driver of that 24 car. As the white flag waves, one more trip around for Tyler Lafontaine.
Lafontaine will lead him off turn number 2 down the back straightaway for the final time. He's opened up the lead. It's about 8 car lengths back to Robinson as LaRock able to get around LaFrancois, but they're heading for the checkers. The win will go to Lafontaine. Second to Robinson. Third will be LaRock. LaFrancois at 4th. Crumby in 5th. Chivieri, Demetrio, Winiger, and Sierra Robinson will round out the field. So Rob Golding and James Marshall on the front row will get heat race number 3 underway here at the Fall Classic at Humberstone.
Giving Goulding a whole shot could be dangerous for this field. Knows how to get it done, especially in that Volkswagen-style race car for the mini stocks. Goulding's had lots of success in this division in that model of car, but over the last few years, it's been the Cobalt and G6 style race car that's become successful around Southern Ontario. But on this opening lap, it's all Rob Goulding.
Marshall in a second. Hang on, Mark Thorne going to go over the edge of the ballpark. He'll bring it back in line and he'll drop back to the rear of the field. Meanwhile, 3 wide for third. Mason Anderson, Rodney Rutherford make contact. Sarantakis will go over the edge in turn number 3, and we'll see if he'll just park it.
Yeah, it looks like Sarantakis is going to have trouble getting going here as he still continues to be parked on the outside. Look at him rolling back now. And I believe the yellow is going to wave here as the CA crews are starting to pull towards the track, but I think they're holding him off, actually, looks like.
Looks like he might be far enough. Nope, no, he's not. Now the caution lights
now
come
waves. They try to give him all the chances to get going again, but instead he will have to feel the heel of the Church of the Yellow Flag. Steven, is he a believer?
I think he is, because I already saw the car moving. And tough break, we heard Craig Vlasic's his car jammed up again. So issues continuing underneath the pipes of the Vlasic Racing 44. So he will be a no call this evening as the green lights come back on. With Rob Golding leading the Crazy Alien Pete Reed. Those two, all the laps they have ran here at this racetrack over the years. And they'll add from 8 more at least, and 6 more in heat racing, and then 15 and 20 later on come feature time as Reed wants the lead away from Rob Golding.
Little bit of bumper tag there as those two door each other up off of 4. Reed settles back in line, and here comes Thorne's going to go around, hang on to it. Keeps it out of the wall. The 46 is still rolling. We'll see if that's enough to bring out a yellow. I think he's going to get it righted as the white flag waves on the field. And this battle for the lead not over either.
Mason Anderson looks like he wants to throw his hat in the ring and make it a 3-car soiree for the top spot as they head down the back straightaway for the final time. Rob Golding still up front. Pete Reed's got one last crack at it. Here they come into the West End for the final time. They're coming for the checkers. It's going to be Rob Golding in for the win. Second will be Reed. Third will be Anderson. Then we'll have the Sarantakis machine, the Oscar, and Marshall rounding out the field.
Green flag waves. Pardis gets a little slideways coming to it. And around the outside, no surprise, there's Josh Slater to the point. Here comes Tyler Winger. Over the second half of the year, probably the fastest mod light anywhere was that 4-car of Tyler Winger. Had a lot of speed, just didn't have the luck to match it and get himself up in a point battle throughout the year, but still a great way to end off 2024. He's looking to do it right here at Humberstone.
Winger's got a win here at Humberstone already in 2024, trying to make it another one. Here to wrap up the years. They're off turns number 3 and 4. He'll take second away from Pardis as Anderson and Watson all looking for racing room as well. But they're all chasing the Tender Cup meet 17 for Josh Slater.
Slater out front by several car lengths early in this one at the halfway point. He is your leader ahead of Winger. Pardis doing a good job hanging on to a top 3 spot under fire from the youngster Ashton Anderson. A little bit slideways up off the corner. Look at RJ Pitts, who's had some speed as well to close out 2024. Picked up a Mod Lite win here earlier this year already, and 1-1 at Humberstone, breaking a 4-year dry spell.
Anderson, Pardis, RJ Pitts, Watson, Buscombe, all right there. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 as this one's a Josh Slider runaway. But Tyler Winger's trying to close it in. Will Winger get any closer than that as Slider leads him down the backstretch for the final time?
Winger picked up 4/10 that previous lap over Slider. He's going to pick up a little bit more, but come up a little bit short as the checkered wave. Slider wins it ahead of Winger. Pardis is going to hang on to 3rd ahead of Pitts. Ashton Anderson, Leroy Buscombe's going to bring it home in the 6th spot. Then it's Watson and the 291 of Cornish rounding out your field of 8 in heat number 1.
So we get ready to go. 2nd of 3 for the Mod Lights. They're off turn number 4. Green lights will come on and we are underway.
Racing down into 1 and 2. A little bit of separation. Dan Curvin trying to make a challenge on the outside in that 88 car to take the 3rd spot away. Hard to see if one particular line is the dominant one so far. It's so early in the night. We'll have to keep watching it as the heat races usually can set the tone for the features.
It can indeed. Down the back straightaway, they'll go single file to turn number 3. Rob Meisner showing the way. Riley Slider in 2nd. Here comes Zach in the 6th Z. Trying to look for racing room to get around the 6S for Riley Slider. It's the battle for the 2 spot between a pair of 6s. As they're off the 2nd corner. What a run by Tim Zach down the back straightaway. Pulls it to even terms with Riley. Going into turn at number 3. Riley's going to rim the top. Zach down on the bottom. Give Tim Zach the 2 spot here at the cross flags.
Down the back straightaway, the 6 Pet Value ride for Zach, trying to reel in the 2 of Meisner. Meisner out in control of this one, and we'll have to keep an eye on the times as there's 2 to go from the flagman. 1.3 seconds is the difference at the line, and Meisner was quickest amongst the front runners. Here comes Curving with a head of steam down the back straightaway. He'll try to clear into the 3rd spot.
Dan Curving to the outside of Riley Slider. Riley's really tight going into turn number 1, then again in turn number 3. But she'll settle it in the 4th spot. The tender cut meets number 6. Greg Zach going to run out of time as Rob Meisner will lead a turn number 3. And off corner 4, checkered flag is in the air and give it to the veteran Rob Meisner with ease. Ahead of Zach in a 2nd. Then it's Curving, Slider, Sarantakis, Scott, and the 227 machine of Robbie General.
Green flag waves, and they're stacking up at the back of the field as Stiers can't quite find the pedal. Around the outside, here comes Iftani in the 27. Meanwhile, they're single file through the front 3. Cohen Corbett holding off Ashton Anderson, 2 youngsters, or excuse me, Ryan Anderson. Those 2 youngsters picked up their first career feature wins over at Merrittville earlier this year and have suddenly become perennial top 5 favorites in this Mod Lite division.
Looking really good early on for Cohen Corbett and Ryan Anderson, but they're chasing down one of the veterans of the game, Joe Isabel, in the number 6 machine. The perennial top gun at the Brewerton Speedway for decades. The JIR race cars ride out of Central New York. Will lead them with ease here at the halfway mark. 3 up, 3 down for Isabel and the rest of the field.
Isabel really kind of feel like elevated the class here. When he showed up last year at Merrittville and a couple other different racetracks, won some features, it really seemed like made the rest of the field step their game up. We saw a return to form from Josh Slider. I mean, Brent Bigelow had another great year after winning a championship in 2023. Had a hard time matching Slider's pace this year in terms of wins and points, but overall, I feel like Isabel was really one of the ones that says, oh, we got a car around him on the back straightaway and able to keep going. White flag waves, and we're going to stay green with Isabel out front.
Tim Anderson was able to correct his racer down the back straightaway, but this one is all Joe Isabel. Into turn 3 and off corner 4. The heat win will go to Joe Isabel. Second to the line will be Ryan Anderson. Third to the line, Colin Corbett just ahead of Sean Iftati. Anthony Kelly in 5th, the Baron Roofing Ride. Glenn Stiers in 6th. And Tim Anderson in the Infinity Race Cars 35 will round out the field.
Green flag is out. And the teal ride for McPherson tonight is out front and pointed the right way, driving away from Small. Then the 3S starting to move forward. Tyler Willard, hang on to it, and we got a yellow on the track already. I believe they're going to be restarting this one.
Believe that Cody went a little quick on that one. So we'll stack the deck, try it again. McPherson and Small to the start zone in turn 4. Green is out. And Cody will take the black and teal winning machine to the front of the field as Dan McKay challenging Dave Small for the 2 spots into turns number 3 and 4 for the first time.
McKay trying to move forward, going to slip on by in that home hardware ride ahead of Dave Small. Small, you can really see this track is pretty rough, especially on corner entry. These cars are bouncing all around, more so than I think I've seen them throughout the year so far here, especially in 1 and 2. Whoa, Jeff Benante, hang on to it. That could have got close as the field rapidly closed up on the Dandy Curb 66P, who seems to be off the pace, but is going to try to continue on and soldier it home. No, might be making the right-hand turn back to the pits.
I was going to say Jeff Benante will make the hard right-hand corner and head back to the pits as McPherson opens up the lead over McKay and Small into turn number 1. Cody leads them by 3/4 of a straightaway as they head back to turn number 3. We'll cross them up this time by 4 in, 4 to go, and this one is all Cody McPherson's.
Battle at the back. I kind of thought Nigel Pentecoski might be able to move his way forward in this field and has not really been able to do that. We'll keep an eye on him come feature time, as I don't want to say the expectations are high on that rookie, but after the year he had at Ransomville, would have liked to see a little bit more pace out of him early. It's early in the night, though.
Early in the night, 7 wins, a Novice Sportsman Track Championship for Nigel. It was all sealed up about 2 weeks before we ran season championship night for the Novice, as the 2 laps to go signal was displayed. He is having a tough time negotiating the veteran Pat Sonnenberg, as he almost hit the inside rail down there and won. There's a white flag up in the air for Cody McPherson.
McPherson really driving away with this one. Not surprising. He's driven away with pretty much everything there is to win in a sportsman around Southern Ontario, and would love to add the final checkered flag at Humberstone Speedway in a sportsman to the resume as the checkered flag waves in this heat. McPherson wins it ahead of Dan McKay. There's Dave Small for 3rd. Tyler Willard will bring it home 4th in the 3S. Pentecoski eventually gets by Sonnenberg, and Jeff Benante unable to complete this one. Will round out the field. So JMF and Heavy Chevy on that second row. I'm sure not the first time those two have tangled here at Humberstone, and I'm sure there'll be factors when we go feature racing later on tonight, but right now it's all about heat number 2 and Mamo to the top spot early in this one.
McKinney's going to go right to the back, and we will watch Chevalier and Friesen go at it for position number 2 as he swing off turn number 4. Friesen able to keep the 2 spot ahead of Chevalier into turn number 1. Jessamine in 4th, Mateo Penante in 5th. But Chevalier better off turn number 2, but JMF keeps the RPMs up, running right on top of the cushion. But right now there's no cushion to hold JMF in the ballpark.
Friesen likes the top line, but it doesn't appear to be the best line right now, and we'll have to concede that spot. Hang on to it. Jessam over the banking, and that 29 gets it collected, and we'll be able to continue on. Meanwhile, it's single file throughout the field now.
And Jessom has a collapsed front end on the 29. Then the caution lights will immediately turn on. Might have tagged the inside rail coming off turn number 4 because that thing just shot up. And the right front, of course, pointing the wrong way.
Steering wheel off. Racemed crew's there just checking on him, but I think this one should be a quick tow from the CAA crew back to the pits.
This field will pick up the pace one more time off turn number 4. Green flags back in the air. And Noah Mamo has his hands full. Chad Chevalier to the outside. Hello, goodbye. Heavy Chevy to the lead to turn number 3. But Noah Mamo able to reclaim the top spot, but I believe caution lights are coming on, and they are.
Might be wondering if they're calling this restart back, as Mamo is the control car and can fire first. And I know Chevy's good, but I didn't think he took him to school that badly. So we'll line him up, try it again, and give Mamo control of this race once again. Much better time bringing him back to green, but there's Chevy with the run off the corner. Down in a 1 and 2. Can Mamo fight him off? Down the back straightaway they go.
Mamo's going to try to fight him off as long as he possibly can as they head to turn number 3. But he's got to know that Friesen's back there as well, lurking in the wings. Mamo and Chevalier going at it for the lead on a Saturday night at Humberstone, with Mamo keeping the top spot for now as they're back down the back straightaway.
Crossover move to the bottom side now is Heavy Chevy. He shoves it in there, can't quite keep it wrapped underneath. Around the corner, gives a little shot to the back of the Performance Acura Niagara. 3N for Mamo, who gives him another chop down into 1 and 2. Friesen loving what he's seeing in front of him.
James Michael would love to get a little closer to that battle for the top spot, but right now it's still Noah Mamo ahead of Chevalier. Here with 2 laps to go, Chad thought about going bonsai into turn number 1, but backed it off and let Noah sing it out down the back straightaway with a lap and a half to go.
Single file, white flag waves, Mamo around, trying to etch his name in the history books as a winner in potentially the final set of heats for these sportsmen here at Humberstone. In a 3 and 4. Checkered's gonna wave on the 3N. It's Mamo ahead of Chad Chevalier, James Friesen, Matteo Pedante, Elijah Nutt in the 88. Rounds out your top 5 there. Now we'll get in line along with Curtis Friesen. Back of the row is going to join up, and we're going to come to green. In a 1 and 2, Sharp doing a good job down low to try to hold on to that top spot, but he's under fire as they work in a 3.
Dan Ferguson rides in the 2 spot off turn 4 for the first time. It is Sharp up in front, Ferguson in second, Friesen in third, Bleach and Rouse 4, 5s are all tight together down the back straightaway. Hawkins back in 6th, but this one continues to be Matt Sharp ahead of Ferguson. They swing off turn number 4 one more time with Friesen in third, looking for Racing Grove.
Single file now. Bleach moves to the inside of Friesen, trying to make the move for third. They're in wheel to wheel, and clear into 3 and 4 goes the 108 ride for Billy Bleach. Everybody's still chasing Matt Sharp. That Sharp fabrication 5S, a little bit of a bobble there. Ferguson couldn't quite take advantage of it.
Ferguson couldn't take advantage of it, but Billy Bleach can. Bonsai to the bottom goes Billy Jr. into turn number 3. Right up against the inside rail, off corner 4. Will he pull it to even turns? No, he can't do it this time. It is still Ferguson in second, Bleach in third, but Billy's challenging. He's right there on the left rear corner panel as Friesen out of shape off turn 2 and off the pace.
I'm not sure that he didn't just clip the inside barrier in that Gibby 68 ride. He's going to coast it around and try to make it back to the pits, maybe. Meanwhile, Sharp, still leading this race, I think is going to quickly catch up to the 68, which is flat right rear. Flat right rear for the Gibby 68. That's what has brought that driver to a slow, and he'll be able to limp it back for a new sneaker as we get the caution.
5 down, 3 more to go as Kurt Mann will take his 68 back to the attention of Dad Joel. Here against Dan Ferguson as the green lights come back on. Good even start for the front row. Bleach and Rouse will renew their battle for third as they swing off turn number 2. Bleach going right back to work on Dan Ferguson.
Bleach saw the opportunity. He's trying to pounce on it through 3 and 4. He will do so. And the 185 trying to follow him through as well as they race down into 1 and 2. Matt Sharp loving what he's seeing out back, though. If they keep battling, it's going to give him a little bit of a chance to slip away. But now, as I say that 2-car length advantage just quickly shrank as the white flag waves. Bleach trying to make something happen.
Billy Jr. trying to make something happen up front as Dan Ferguson just gave Brad the old hip check off the corner to reclaim third as they're down the back into 3 and 4 for the final time. Off the corner, Matt Sharp in for the win. Second will be Bleach. Third will be Ferguson. Fourth will be Rouse. And Chris Hawkins will complete your top 5 finishers. Green lights come on. We are underway in 3 wide for the lead as they head into turn number 1.
A little bit of full contact stock car racing there, and it's Robbie Disher on the receiving end of a bit of a check there from the 0. Larman up on the outside in that 601 trying to contest the top spot, but he's off the pace suddenly as well and dropping through the field like a stone.
The Memory Motors 601 will make the right-hander and head towards the pits, but will remain under green as Tyler French already got the naughty stick shook at him first time by as he kind of roughed his way up to get to the front, but he is there right now and he's pulling away from Robbie Disher and Brock Gregory, who are going to have a nice little battle here for second with Evan Curtis right behind him.
Curtis stalking those 2 in front. Disher's going to get cleared and try to fight back to the inside. Gregory is cleared as second. Here comes Curtis for third. And Disher doing a good job in the Crunch Fitness 17 ride of holding him off and keeping that track position he got starting on the pole. And this one slides up the racetrack, though, and that's going to be enough for Curtis to slip on by.
That will be more than enough for the 2EZ to take over third as Robbie fighting back on him on the bottom side. Whittle right behind him as well in that 17W machine. So now Robbie Disher, one of the lone metric cars in a world full of Camaros here for this division, as this one is all Tyler French off turn number 4.
Tyler French driving away, leading the group from the Brighton area down here. Top 2, Gregory as well, another Brighton car. Curtis hasn't been running a full schedule in the street stocks, but good to see him back out in a street stock. I believe last time we were here, rolled a mini stock pretty violently, if I don't remember, or if I do remember correctly. So
let's see, he rolled it at least one occasion, I believe opening night when he rolled his mini stock here at Humberstone. Is Brock Gregory up in a plume of smoke? Your second place car dropping like a fly off the racetrack. And we'll see, hopefully that is not terminal, but it looked like it was on the 26 for Gregory. But the team car will be in for the win with Tyler French at the control. Second will be Evan Curtis. Third in the line will be Robbie Disher, Travis Whittle in fourth, and Chris Crow will complete your top 5 finishers. Brewster Baker, a 4-time track champion at Humberstone as the green lights come on.
Picked up, I believe, his 6th track championship at Merrittville earlier this year in 2024, and it shouldn't be too long before he's up there battling for this lead. If anybody knows how to get around Humberstone, it is the 49 of Bailey. Up front, though, Bellamy doing a good job pacing this field. That 6X with the Wrangler color ride, looking strong out front.
Jody Mason having issues in the back in the 4 car, but we'll keep it straight. We'll stay clean and green. As Dave Bailey and Go Fast Tipo battling for 4th. John Overholt in the 96 running very well so far early on in that black, green, and a pink ride in the 2 spot.
Another one of those metric cars, too.
As they work down the back straightaway, and the reports is Overholt has a Camaro for next year, so if you can't beat him, join him, I guess. as the field works off turn number 4. Almost 3 wide for third as Bailey hang times it to the outside.
Bailey's just trying to find a way by. He's got the pace, but everywhere he goes, there's a car in front of him. Up high, down low. Teeple actually going to try to move forward now, making the move on Jonathan Mason. Teeple down low and maybe looking to split the difference. Bailey having a look, but that hole might close up on the front stretch here. Up front, still all Bellamy.
Bellamy up front, overhauled in the second. Jonathan Mason third. Go Fast Teeple and Dave Bailey still battling for fourth. They're in off that corner onto the main straightaway one more time. Every time Dave Bailey tries to make a move, the Mason car goes up to block the line. So there's no mirrors in these race cars. So right now Mason's doing his line. He's holding his line. The thing is, Dave Bailey and Teeple just can't seem to get around the 4 car coming with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Bailey really stuck there, just nowhere to go. This time he'll draw a bead to the outside of Mason and maybe be able to make something work. But and while now jamming up that second lane is the 96 of Overholt, as we got 4 cars under a blanket coming to the white flag, but they're all battling for the second spot and maybe starting to lean on each other 3 wide.
Patience grows thin, and I believe patience has just ran out for this field, as now Dave Bailey's like, get out of my way, gang. I'm trying to come on through. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Who's it going to be off that 4th corner? The win will go to Marshall Bellamy. Second to the line will be the 4 of Mason, Teeple, Bailey, John Overhaul in 5th. Jody Mason in 6th, and the Gould's number 4. Yeah, this heat race ain't stacked or anything.
Green flag waves. Who's going to emerge victorious in this one? Bleach down into 1 and 2's got the top spot. Fontaine being worked over by Mikey Bobby. Look at the 55 of Thorne moving through, trying to find his way up inside the top 2 for the 55. Looks like maybe a little bit of damage, but I think that might have already been there, and he started the race with that kind of cut off front end.
Jason Fontaine off the pace and heading directly to the pits. Tough break for the Sewell Nample. 1J for Fontaine. As Bleach and Mikey Bobby up front, and here comes the crazy alien, Pete Reed. Looking for racing room in his V8 horsepower street stock down the back straightaway. They're all looking for room as into 3 and 4 as Zach Bleach still leads the parade.
Feels like a hot minute ago that we saw Reed out with the mini stocks earlier in the night, but that 05 street stock, a little bit more power under the hood and definitely his usual ride. He's got it figured out right now. Pete Reed trying to take the top spot on the outside, something that really hasn't been done so much here tonight, and now will do so. Clear to the top spot goes the crazy alien.
Pete Reed to the lead into turns number 1 and 2. Bleach in second, Mikey Bobby in third. He's losing ground to Nick Massey down the back straightaway. As Mitchell Petta will do the 360 off turn number 2. You should be able to stay clean and green. We do. 3 laps to go for Pete Reed. Zach Bleach downstairs. Mike Thorne outside the Burger Barn. 55 off turn to number 4. White flag up in the air for Pete Reed. Bleach holding his line in the 2 spot. Mikey Bobby trying to go the long way around Humberstone as they're off that second corner down the back straightaway. Side by side as they're heading for turn 3.
Checkered flag's gonna wave on Pete Reed, getting it done in the Hoosier stock, the street stock, the Thunder stock, whatever you want to call them. Those V8 full fender race cars always put on a show, and I can't wait to see them all back out here for feature time. But I believe up next we've got crate sprints, if I'm not mistaken, next on the card. Yes, we do.
Green lights will come on as we are underway with crate sprint action here at Humberstone.
Podwinski on the inside gives up one spot as Nanakoke around the outside. There goes the 28T. Pretty quick race from these crate sprints already. They're moving and grooving around this tricky Humberstone track.
Cam Thompson trying to get around the Podwinski 72. Tanner's got some laps here in a modified and in a Thunderstock. So Tanner out of this group has probably got the most laps here out of anybody. Maybe with the exception of Andrew Hennessy at fourth. He's got a few late model laps around here as they all work for Racing Room. Early on in this one, a very quick pace here for the crates.
Hennessy trying to work over Thompson for that third spot. Thompson sails it in on the outside, and clear goes the 87 of Hennessy in the Peacemaker 420 ride.
Sharp looking ride for Andrew Hennessy, already up to third, trying to reel in Tanner Podwinski as quickly as possible. As this one is already halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. And Brian Nanakoke led everyone in the Canada New Fuels number 9, trying to lead this one from start to finish. And here comes Hennessy.
Hennessy's got a lot of pace. I'm not sure what the problem was that caused him to slow before we went green, but whatever it is, it's in the rear view right now as he is working over Podwinski, who's trying to have a good run for a bit of a local partner in GR Enviro Rail on the side of that race car.
I'd like to welcome those folks joining us here in the house tonight. Proud supporter of our street stock division here at Humberstone for the last few years, as Tanner trying to give them a ride tonight. And right now he is duking it out with Andrew Hennessy in the 2 spot as they work off corner 4. White flag up in the air.
One more trip around. Nobody catching Nanakoke, who's out in front. We'll keep an eye on this battle for second. Podwinski and Hennessy, they're putting on a show one more time through 3 and 4. Nanakoke gonna come home with the Canada Fuels 9C in the top spot and give second to Podwinski ahead of Hennessy. Then Thompson in the 28T. Great racing and a great pace tonight from these crate sprints. Bit of a hold your breath moment there on the start as Canateel almost drove down into Miller. A couple of cars up off the top side there. Meanwhile, up front, Willard trying to track down Staley for the lead. Staley has it on the opening lap.
Adrian Staley up front, Tyler Willard in second, Johnny Miller in third, Daddy's Money, Connor Ross up to the 4th spot in the 44 as they work off the corner. Back to the line, we'll click another one on the counter, and everybody is chasing the 50 of Adrian Staley.
Johnny Miller back on the offense, trying to track down Willard for the 2nd spot. Thought about making the dive inside, wasn't close enough, but through the middle of the corner, a hole opens up and Miller's there to fill it. The GSR Oshweekend 20 car of Johnny Miller trying to take 2nd spot away from Willard. Great battle down the backstretch.
They work back to turn number 3. Tyler Willard up high. Johnny Miller right up against the inside rail. Off that 4th corner, the 2 spot still belongs to Willard as they're back into turn number 1. And again, the Iceman's coming. Inside lines, got the groove down the back straightaway. 2 spot now to Johnny Miller.
Miller trying to drive away from Willard. He'll do so. Willard can't quite keep it going to challenge for that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Adrian Staley's driving off with it, almost a full straightaway advantage ahead of Miller as laps are ticking away. 2 laps to go at the stripe, and Staley firmly in control.
2 laps to go for Adrian Staley. Johnny Miller 2nd, Willard in 3rd. Connor Ross in 4th, and Connor's got a head full of steam down the back straightaway. He sends it into turn number 3. He'll follow the tire tracks of the 777A, the Willard Concrete Trucking Ride for Tyler Willard, as the battle is on for 3rd as they're off turn 2 for the final time.
Final time out of 3 and 4. Adrian Staley sees it first. He takes the checkered ahead of Johnny Miller. Then it's the 7A, that 777 ride, Willard, and Connor Ross with a great run there in that 44 ride as well. Good pace once again from these crate sprints here tonight. McKinnon on it in that 85C, standing on the pedal, and here comes Dykstra, not wasting any time, diving to the inside of Al Slate, trying to take away the 2nd spot on this opening lap. But he's got to grab a fistful of steering wheel there to stay off the 2S. And out front, ooh, good battle there as Dykstra takes another run at Slight, and that time muscles his way on by and give P2 to the 5D.
Jacob Dykstra already up to the 2 spot. Al Slight back to 3rd. Cam McKinnon still leads as they're off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Travis Hofstetter there in 4th and deuce. He's in jeopardy of losing that to Broden Wellers 14 as they work off that 4th corner. Back to the line. It's single foul formation with McKinnon still showing the way.
Out front, it's McKinnon. Trying to track him down is Dykstra. Dykstra, good set of corners there. Has had some great moments in sprint car racing at this facility. Jacob Dykstra trying to recreate some of those memories as we got one off the high side here in corner number 4. That's come to a slot slow. I don't know. Can't see the number from my position. Carter Long turns him loose once again. McKinnon down into 1 and 2. A little bit of a rough entry there, and Slight actually comes under fire from Hofstetter. Here comes Dykstra with a head of steam. He closes in on the backside of the 85C. Battles on for the top spot. McKinnon drives away with it.
McKinnon up in front. Jake Dykstra in the 2 spot. Trying to get back to the lead. Slight in 3rd, pulling away from Hofstetter in the Lactus as they're off turn 4. 2 laps to go, and here comes Jake Dykstra.
What a drive off the corner. He drove right to the inside, and now he'll do it again. He's got the exit of Humberstone figured out. Both sides of the racetrack. That is where Dykstra is fast, and he's clear to the lead as the white flag waves. One more trip around for the Gassens Auto Sales 5D of Jacob Dykstra. It's Dykstra away from McKinnon, then Slate, then Hofstetter, Weiler, and the Teach Young. Here comes the checkered flag. Carter Long waves it on Jacob Dykstra. McKinnon settles into 2nd. Slate is 3rd. Then it's Hofstetter, Weiler, and Young.
The team cars on the inside line. Matt Farnham, Todd Hoddick, green lights come on, we're underway.
Good start from Bowman, who dives back to the inside, and that's 71. Here comes Dryden around the outside. Hoddick back to 4th.
Hoddick back to the 4th spot. Darren Dryden to 3rd, MBR 4th. Hang on, Glenn Stiers goes around. And the caution lights are coming on for the Ashwegan Flyer, Glenn Stiers.
And more than a few to come tonight as the green flag waves back in the air. Farnham with the jump on Bowman. Dryden, fastest man in Humberstone, trying to keep pace with those top 2 drivers. Meanwhile, Sean Evans coming off a strong end of the sprint car season. Picked up an SOS win earlier, his first ever 360 win at Merrittville.
Evans in 4th, Hoddick 5th, then it's Turkey, Stiers, and Billings at the back. And this one is Matt Farnham's up in front. Bowman 2nd, Dryden in 3rd, trying quickly to chase him down. Sean Evans a little tight that time off turn 1. Opens up the gate for Todd Hoddick to try to drive underneath.
Farnham continues to pace the field on that Fiberworks ride. Great battle for 4th. Hoddick not done contesting the spot. Sean Evans leaves the door open, and here comes Hoddick back by to take 4th spot away from the 87. Here comes the 87X fighting back to the inside. Whoa, that got awfully close off of corner 4.
Awfully close indeed between Hoddick and Evans to get the 4th spot back to Todd Hoddick down the back straightaway as Matt Farnham will see the 2 to go signal ahead of Mike Bowman as they race back into turn number 1, and Evans drove right back on the outside, says see you later Todd Hoddick.
This is a lot of fun for 4th place. Hoddick and Evans continuing to trade that spot back and forth, but as the white flag waves, It's Evans now driving away with it, and he might have a shot at Dryden. Can't quite get through 1 and 2 all that good. Meanwhile, out of 3 and 4 for the final time, checkers wave on Matt Farnham in the 7NY. Ahead of Bowman, there's Dryden, Evans, Hoddick, Turkey, Stiers will get Billings at the line.
Heat race number 2 underway, and DJ Christie's going to get the jump ahead of Jordan Poirier, but I believe they're going to call this one back, and they do. Caution lights are on.
That whole field was jingled. I don't know if they had some miscommunication about who was supposed to be where or when they were coming to green, but we'll line them up, re-rack them, restack them, try it again for a cleaner time. Poirier is the pole sitter, but both cars on the front row must fire together out of corner number 4.
Got the barrels and the cones there in turn number 4. That is the start zone here at Humberstone. And they'll get to fire once they hit the box for time together at the line. They do. Better start there. We are underway with Poirier taking off into turn number 1, and here comes Nick Sheridan. Sheridan looking underneath DJ Christie. Hello, goodbye. 2 spot now to Nick Sheridan as they head to turn 3.
2 young, aggressive, and very quick drivers in 2nd and 3rd. Here comes Christie with a head of steam around the outside. Good racing for 2nd spot there. Nicky Sheridan on the low side, trying to keep pace. Good battle as Christie sails it in on the outside. They're both chasing Poirier early in this one.
Off the corner, DJ Christie to the 2 spot. Sheridan in 3rd. Davey Franek in 4th. Gledhill 5th in the 17 in the 7 ahead of Corey Turner as they race back to turn number 3. Poirier right up against the inside rail. Christie's rim ride in the cushion, and he has quickly closed the gap on Jordan Poirier.
Awfully close racing between Franek and Gledhill out of 4, and they're both going to slip up through 1 and 2, and here comes Corey Turner trying to close in and take the top spot. Halfway home, and it's all Jordan Poirier, but the 5 of Christie trying to close. He's within a second.
They're down the back straightaway. Top 3 are gone as they head to turn at number 3. Christie again sails it in off the corner. Poirier keeps the mind and the momentum as they head back into turn at number 1. Sheridan in 3rd, Franek in 4th, Gledhill in 5th. Corey Turner trying to reel him in. It's about 3 car lengths between Gledhill and Turner. It's the parallel. Popsicle sticks are up in the air.
Popsicle sticks in the air. It's 2 to go. Now, Poirier has extended that lead up over a second. He's driving ever so slightly away from the 5 of Christie, but Christie not going away. Sailing it in through 3 and 4. White flag waves on the field.
Jordan Poirier, the Foundations for Saisons, 28 from St. Mathieu de Belleville, Quebec, Canada, off turn number 4. He'll head to victory lane. 2nd will be Christie. 3rd will be Sheridan. 4th will be Franek. Battle for 5th. Gledhill just ahead of Corey Turner.
See Gledhill bike that coming out of 4. That was awfully close to a solo rollover there for a second, I thought, but what a great race.
Tyler Paulus, Kevin Lovey's turning the wrenches on that 77T as they work off turn 4. Green lights, come on, we're underway.
Green flag is out. Liam Martin to the outside and by. Down into 3 and 4. Battle coming back to the line. Turner can't keep pace with the live wire, and Martin out front.
Liam Martin up front, Turner in 2nd, Westbrook in 3rd, Paulus in 4th, Phillips and Hoopanen battle for 5th. That's the closest battle on the racetrack. 4, 5, 6 as they work off turn number 4, but no change here. It's still Liam Martin up front.
And Westbrook with the ultimate carrot dangling in front of him. Know that after such a dominant year, wanted that Nationals win, and instead it went to that 15 car of Ryan Turner. Westbrook would love to make sure that he beats this field, and especially that 15 car. Right now, that battle's starting to shape up for the 2nd spot. Turner being tracked down by Westbrook.
93 points entered tonight's chase for the SOS between Dylan Westbrook and Ryan Turner as they head down the back into turns number 3 and 4 one more time. Westbrook trying to get something going underneath the 47X, but couldn't do it. as this one is still all in the controls of Liam Martin coming for 2 to go.
Martin down the front stretch here, sees 2 laps to go, and the battle's on for second. Westbrook is there, right in the tire tracks of Turner. Down the back straightaway, Westbrook will drift up the racetrack and try to take the top side through 3 and 4. Turner slides up in front of him and throws the block, coming to the white.
Through the block to D-Dubs into turn number 1. They're off turn number 2 as they'll settle it down into turn number 3. One last stab at him off the corner. The win will go to Liam Martin. Second to the line, Ryan Turner ahead of Dylan Westbrook. Tyler Prowlis in 4th, Jim Hoopin in 5th. Kyle Phillips, El Giletto will round out the field.
Ryan Turner. Blocking ability like that could only be used by the Bills at this point. That was impressive stuff, protecting the second spot.
The Bills would love a blocker like that right about now. We'll see what happens as the green lights come on as Nelson Mason and Kayla Draper, green flag are underway. First round of qualifying for the Mighty Modifieds at Humberstone.
Tricky 1 and 2 there. Look at the move from Draper to the outside. That 18D trying to take the top spot away from Nelson Mason, and will do so. The 18 to the top spot.
Kaylin Draper up in front. Nelson Mason in 2. Gordon and Wood battle for third as they head to turn number 3 with Dykstra and fast Freddie Carlton. Oh, look at the room as well as they swing off turn number 4.
Draper's got a lot of pace in that 18D right now, driving away from this field. Mason, a better exit out of 2 that time, is actually going to be able to close up a little bit. Can't quite get the drive through the middle of the corner. And tight racing for third. That Fresh Dome Brands 38 trying to find a way by Gordon. There goes Wood through to the 3rd spot.
Scott Wood to the 3rd spot. Gordon back to 4th. Jake Dykstra in 5th. The 5D as Jake tried to throw it in there underneath Gordon that time. Couldn't do it. We're halfway home. 4 in and 4 more to go. In the closest battle on the racetracks for 4th between the veteran Todd Gordon and the modified rookie Jake Dykstra.
Dykstra's got no way by unless he goes to the top side. Gordon's doing a great job covering that middle to low lane around Humberstone. Gordon, obviously a veteran of this division. And Dykstra again sees a little bit of daylight, but he can't gas it up to get to the inside of the Blue Moon Potatoes ride.
Couldn't gas it that time to get around Gordon as this one's down the back straightaway, and here comes Freddie Carlton. He'll try to look underneath the 5D of Dykstra's. The white flag up in the air for the Draper Drawers 18. Kayla Draper down the back straightaway looking for his first checkered flag at Humberstone.
Draper out of 3 and 4 is going to hang on and do it. Kaylin Draper picks up a win ahead of Nelson Mason. Then it's the 38 of Wood. Gordon, Dykstra, Carlton, Polhill, and Flanagan round out the field. Kaylin Draper in the 18D, a heat winner.
On the pole, Brandon Gruel, the CG Motorsports 35. On the pole to his outside, the penetrator, Shane Pierce in the 88. Row number 2 to the inside, the 441 for B-Mac, Boyd McTavish. To his outside, the veteran Brian Page. Row number 3, the Ransomville Renegade, Ryan Susi in the 38S. He'll be joined by the Professor, John Smith, out of the Falls in the 678. And Cool Hand Luke Carlton. We'll go shotgun on the field, and we are underway, and the caution lights are already coming on.
I think Shane Pierce may have clipped the inside barrier. He's got some kind of problem on that left front. Might be a tire down, but I think it's more related to suspension and the chassis of that race car. Can't quite tell from my vantage point, but either way, not the start that Shane Pierce wanted.
Ryan Page, Ryan Susi, John Smith, Luke Carlton. Green lights come on as Brandon Gruel gave B-Mac a hip check that Lindy Ruff would be proud of, and the caution lights are on.
Yeah, I figured that one was coming back. Gruel stood on it and kind of lost control, seemed like. Anyways, McTavish is going to get to go back up alongside, and I don't think he's going to be overly happy with that 35G. And it's early in the night, boys. It's early. So Brian Page gets the pole spot now ahead of Gruhl, and now Gruhl gives a little shot to the back of the 43 as if it was his fault. Coming to green, not sure what happened there. But this group a little bit spicy for the 358 modifieds. And there's Ryan Susi just waiting there like, can I just get to the front, guys? Let's get some green laps.
Field will take off with Boyd McTavish in the lead ahead of Brian Page and Ryan Susi. As they head down the back straightaway, Luke Carlton will look underneath Brandon Gruhl for fourth as they swing off that fourth corner for the first time. McTavish in the lead ahead of Page and Susi.
BMAC looking strong out front. Page trying to hang on to the second spot. Luke Carlton had a shot at Susi. Now Susi gets the drive off and will clear Page. And now Ryan Susi up to P2 in the Transport Sales and Service 38S.
Broke out for a pair of emotional wins at the Ransomville Speedway this year for the Renegade. One in early June with Axton in the house, and the second one a pure domination of a win. But he's got some work to do to get around the 441 for Boyd McTavish. He takes off like a rocket down the back straightaway as they head back for turn 3. We're halfway home this time by 4 in, 4 to go.
And you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe Ryan Susi has finished on the podium every time he has stepped north of the border. Hasn't done it a lot this year, but between his starts here at Humberstone and Merrittville, Susi has been in contention.
Got a third in the Pete Koska Memorial. That race dominated by the Ransomville Brigade. As right now the Ransomville Renegade trying to reel in BMAC into turn number 3, and Susi's coming off the fourth corner. 2 laps to go, and the drive's alive for Susi's and back to turn 1.
Here goes Ryan Susi around the outside of Boyd McTavish. McTavish fights back on the inside. Great race here between these two. And through 3 and 4, Susi gonna clear to the top spot and see the white flag.
White flag up in the air. Final time into turns number 1 and 2. The driver of the Transport Sales and Service, Mickle Racing Products, TMS Powder Coating, Bud's Apple Pie 38, the Renegade, Ryan Susi will win heat race number 2. Seconds, McTavish. Third will be Luke Carlton. Fourth to the line, Brian Page. Fifth to the line, Brandon Gruhl will edge out the Professor. John Smith in the 678.
Rouse out front. Hang on to it. Glenn Stiers with a brief moment there. That opens the door for the 20. Lindbergh trying to move his way forward. He's already trying to challenge for the second spot, but gets driven up the racetrack. They're 3 wide for third for a brief moment there as Lindbergh trying to move his way through the field, but this field not taking it easy on him. So far, the 82 of Winfield through the block on him through 3 and 4. And Rouse out front, loving what he's seeing. As long as they keep mixing it up out back, he's going to keep driving away in that Sterling Lubricants ride.
Brad Rouse is loving what he's seeing if these cars had rear view mirrors. They're down the back straightaway, and now the race is on for second. Winfield to the outside, Gary Lindbergh underneath, give the 2 spot now to Lindbergh. And the race is on. The veterans are going to go at it here at Humberstone on a Saturday night. These two have been going at it for decades in the open wheel division. Brad Rouse and Gary Lindbergh were halfway home.
Rouse out front. Lindbergh trying to track him down. A little bit faster that time was Lindbergh, but he's going to need a little bit more than a little bit to catch Rouse. Right now, it's a 1.1 second advantage for Brad Rouse out front. That 18R looking strong. Meanwhile, Lindbergh running a bit more of an aggressive line, trying to find some speed. Found another 2/10 that lap.
Down the back straightaway, Gary Lindbergh's going to pin it to the top in turn number 3 and just sail it in on the bottom of the racetrack. Off turn number 4, we'll see if he'll pick up any more time on Brad, and he does. Another 2/10 off, and 7/10. Now he'll lose it probably off turn number 2. He got a little high that time, and it sets up the gate for Rouse. They're coming for 2 to go.
2 laps to go. Can Lindbergh get there? What's he lose? What's he gain on this lap? Actually lost maybe about 100th of a second there, but a better 1 and 2 this time will give him a chance to try to track down Rouse. Rouse out of 3 and 4 sees the checkered flag and wins it ahead of Gary Lindbergh. What a battle to the line. Winfield in the 82 gets it ahead of Mallory in the 20. Then it is the Too Cool ride for Van Mill, Neal in the 2X, and Glenn Stiers rounds out your field.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your
Get
way
ready
to
to
great
roll
taste.
here in the Bosch Car Services mini stocks. Leading him to green, Mason Anderson going to start on the inside of the front row alongside the X car driven tonight by Pete Reed. Starting in the third spot, that's Tyler LaFontaine in the 19 machine. He'll have Richard Hadler in the 60 Joe Obertine Realty machine that is outside. Brandon Lefrancois in the Brian Howen Associates 24 car starts fifth. Steve Robinson is in the 1R to his outside. Starting in the seventh spot, that's Olivier Larocque in the 91. He'll have Alex Riley, Merrittville Mini Stock champion, in the 8th spot. And starting ninth, that's the 5K of Kenny Hare. John Lubeck will start in the final spot inside the top 10 in 10th. Flags are up, pedals are down, away we go in the mini stocks at Humberstone. Fall Classic night number 1. Around the outside, the X of Cooper. Oh, one car had a hard time getting to the green. That's Iftadi in the 38S who's limping it around. And we're going to go yellow before we can even complete a lap here.
Tough break for Sam Iftadi, the Howell Maple Farms 38S. Carter Log with the greens in hand. He'll wave the green. We are underway. And the 4 cylinders will buzz to life like they go on the 140 every day. Hang on, John Lubeck gets turned in turn number 2. Off the back of Robinson, and we will see what happens here as there's a car off the base of 2.
That's Kenny Hare in the 5K. Hare spun as part of that contact. He was the one making direct contact to the back of the 14L as a bit of a logjam situation at a corner number 2. This many cars on a tricky Humberstone field, a Humberstone Raceway surface. It's bound to happen, especially in the mini stocks. Green flag back in the air here at Humberstone. And it's Reed from the outside lane once again moving forward in this one, trying to clear the Anderson machine out of corner number 1 and 2. Anderson fights back on the inside as the field fans out behind them, trying to move forward. Here comes Alex Riley. He's already up inside the top 5. Battle on for the lead, and it's Reed. Can't quite clear now, might do it heading into 1 and 2.
We'll take it into turns number 1 and 2. LaFontaine hanging on to 3rd. Here comes Alex Riley, Robinson in 5th. They're going to go 4 wide behind them. LeFrancois, Rob Golding, Brandon Crumby, and Olivier Larocque, and LeFrancois gets turned in turn number 3. And Ost will go around and take evasive action to slow down. Dimitro and Ronning also slow to avoid, and the caution flags will wave again.
Tina Ronning picked up a lot of damage making an evasive maneuver, but Sepp had the 801 of Dimitro to her outside, and the right front all crunched in on that 27 ride. It will need to be probably brought to pit crew services and freed up some clearance on that right front, or otherwise should be a pretty significant tire rub the way that car was all collapsed in on the front end.
Over there in the pit, still getting worked on as we're going to go back to green here with the Bosch's Car Service mini stocks here at Humberstone.
Reed elects to take the outside once again on this start. Seems to really like that vantage point. That particular race car really came to life in the second half of the year. Saw Jeremy Cooper, I believe, pilot it to a good win earlier in the year. couple of different drivers have jumped into that ride and had success with it. And looking like another successful night right now for the Pete Reed X machine right now. Out front. Now up front also battle on between TMR cars. Tyler LaFontaine on the inside trying to keep pace with Alex Riley. Riley going to clear to the outside.
Alex Riley to third. LaFontaine in fourth. Here comes Brandon Crumpy. The Amsoil 63 looking up front in that Mustang as he's battling with Rob Golding for the fifth spot. Golding in that 71 car. As the field works off turn number 4, as the Oldsmobile smoking out of the back for John Marshall. And they'll bring the leaders in as Pete Reed still shows way ahead of Mason Anderson.
Up front it is the X ride for Pete Reed. Trying to do some double duty and maybe take 2 trips to Humberstone Victory Lane on this Saturday night here. Down the back straightaway, doing a great job just holding off Anderson. Anderson hasn't been able to really challenge. This time into 3 and 4, he'll have a run at him, but the bottom side just can't seem to get the grip to power down to compete with the outside lane right now.
Anderson in that borrowed ride, that's the former Clinton Barrick car, as Mason's car got completely destroyed up at Oswego during Nationals weekend. But Mason not giving up, trying to score back-to-back wins here in Humberstone, and he is challenging the crazy alien as the leaders are about to hit lap traffic.
Mason Anderson broke through for his first mini stock win early in 2024, and since then has really become a consistent contender. I mean, aligning yourself with the TMR guys, Kyle Rothwell, Tyler LaFontaine, that's going to get you pretty far in this division. Both of those guys know how to set up these race cars, know how to race and win in a mini stock. Now Anderson gets jammed up by the lap traffic of Ronning, who's going to take him out of this fight for the lead and drop him not all the way back, but pretty far back from this championship, from this race-winning fight. Give P2 to Alex Riley. Let's see what he can do with this newfound track position.
Pete Reed up front has got daylight. Alex Riley in second. Rob Golding now in third in the Volkswagen. And now Golding looking for the runner-up position ahead of Alex Riley. They're into turn number 1. 9 laps to go, and Pete Reed having a tough time negotiating Brendan LaFrancois, and now give the runner-up position to Rob Golding and Anderson back on the outside.
LaFrancois was a front runner, had some great track position off the start, got involved in an incident, so we know there's pace in that particular race car. So Reed has to be careful. This is not your typical lap car that you're just going to blow by. He's got to be patient here, and as now Anderson has slipped by Riley as well, looks like those two might be in line to track down Reed as the yellow flag's going to wave on this racetrack. One car spun around on the inside. I believe that might be one of the Robison cars. Can't quite tell from my vantage point.
Right in the middle of turns 1 and 2.
And Crombie right there as well as the green flag waves once again. We've got 8 to go in the mini stocks here, and oh, they're already starting to stack up and jam up as Sarantakos got shoved into the wall.
Sarantakos jammed up the outside line, but everybody keeps on trucking as they head down the back straightaway, side by side for the lead. Pete Reed and Rob Golding as they work off turn at number 4. The lead goes back to Pete Reed. Anderson will reclaim third ahead of Alex Riley, and Crumpy and LaFontaine continue their battle they've had pretty much all night for position number 5.
Golding not done, keeping a wheel alongside, and into 3 and 4 he'll sail it in again, trying to get up towards maybe the middle groove to get a little bit more bite out of the corner and stay with Reed, who's clear. But Reed leaves the door open down in a 1 and 2, and Goulding still there. The 4 car of Anderson right there as well. It might be a 3-car battle before it's all said and done here.
Brendan Crumpy trying to make it a 4-car story if he's able to get around Alex Riley, as they'll go side by side from 4th here at the line, as Riley has the 4th spot. 5 laps to go. Rob Golding and Pete Reed will lean into each other off the turn, and Rob Golding's got the lead down the back straightaway. As here comes Mason Anderson. He's trying to get second around lead as they're off turn number 3 and 4.
Anderson trying to make that low line work just like Goulding did. I'm not sure if Goulding did it with a little bit of a hip check, maybe a soft one, or just a lot of pace. He's going to try to slide up in front of Reed and cover off the top spot. He'll do so. 3 cars in line here. Here comes Anderson with a head of steam. He's going to dive to the inside of Reed. And Goulding looking in good position to take this one home with 3 to go.
Rob Goulding leads with 3 laps to go. Pete Reed and Mason Anderson run second and third. Will lap traffic be a factor for this one? Said and done. They got Tina Ronning to contend with here in the late going. Goulding up front. Pete Reed head full of steam into turn number 3. Didn't quite make it happen. 2 laps to go.
Reed doing all he can. Lap car in front of those 2. 2 laps to go. And Reed trying to hold off Anderson. Anderson trying to take that second spot away. Looks like he might be able to do so in 3 and 4. But Goulding is driving away from the rest of this field. Sees the white flag, and it's one more trip around for Rob Goulding.
Rob Goulding will lead him into turns number 1 and 2 for the final time. Off the second corner, down the back straightaway. The V-Dub Brigade will add one more win here at the Humberstone Speedway, and Rob Goulding will pick up the win. Second will be Pete Reed. Third, Mason Anderson. Fourth, Alex Riley. And Brandon Crumby will complete your top 5 finishers.
Tyler LaFontaine finishes in the 6th spot. Then it's Rodney Rutherford 7th. Olivier Larocque, Mike Sarantakos, and Josh Dimitro gets in for the 10th spot. The final spot inside the top 10 on Fall Classic night for the mini stocks here at Humberstone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Goulding. Rob, you told Trevor this thing was a rocket ship and on rails, and indeed it was, my friend. Finally back in victory lane at Humberstone, in a place where the V-Dubs pretty much dominated the last decade and a half.
Absolutely. We've been doing a lot of tweaking on this thing. I can't thank Trevor Clark and Leroy Buscombe for the ride. Man, this thing's a rocket ship now.
This thing was pure rocket. Who else you got to thank there, buddy?
The girlfriend, Thais, my mom, everybody that helps out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your mini stock feature winner, Rob Goulding.
The flag is up, pedals are down, away we go in the Mod Lights at Humberstone. Great start from Slider. She's going to jump out to the top spot and hang on to it. It's going to be 3-4 wide almost as slipping by. Joe Isabel and Ryan Anderson use the inside lanes to get by the success of Riley Slider. Meanwhile, if Toddy leads it, but for how long? Not long. There goes the 6. Joe Isabel to the top spot.
Isabel to the top spot. Cheeseburger in the 2 runner-up position. Here comes Tyler Winger. Winger already up to 3rd into number 4. Anderson in 4th. Slider in 5th. Then it's Corbett in the 32 running position number 6. And the top of the crop here in the Mod Light division is already heading towards the front of the field, and everybody's chasing down Joe Isabel.
Tyler Winger has been one of the fastest Mod Light cars anywhere he's gone, picking up wins at Humberstone, at Merrittville, at Ohsweken. This guy knows how to get it done, and what a year, end of the year it's been for that 4 car. Can he put a punctuation mark here on it tonight at Humberstone? He's got to track down if Toddy and get that 2nd spot before he earns the right to go up and challenge the 6 of Isabel.
Tyler Winger around Cheeseburger if Toddy for the runner-up position. Cheeseburger not giving up without a fight though, as the car owner sits behind him as well. Josh Slider's coming. The JSR 17 up to the 4th position. Quickly reeling in if Toddy for position number 3. With 5 laps quickly in the books, as Joe Isabel trying to quick work on this one.
Isabel currently holds a 1.5 second lead. We'll see at the stripe this time if Winger can eat into that ever so slightly and take a bite out of it with now with 11 to go. Excuse me, it's got 10 to go, actually. Out front, that's 6 in control of this one. Winger's trying to close. Looks like he's better on exit, but giving up a little bit maybe through the center of these corners as Isabel maybe taking it a little bit more conservative for the sake of making it to the end of this one.
Field works back into 3 and 4, and Tyler Winger's one of the fastest mod lights in Southern Ontario. Trying to go after Joe Isabel. We're halfway home, 8 and 7 to go. The leader is the JIR number 6 for Joe Isabel. Tyler Winger in his second. Third is the 17 for Josh Slider. If Toddy fourth, Anderson in fifth ahead of Corbett. And the 26 of RJ Pitts. They work back to turn number 1 with 6 laps to go.
Winger is out front, tracking down the leader, driving away from Slider. He's getting close. I think lap traffic might be the deciding factor in this one. Isabel's going to have to tiptoe around it, and Winger just has a ton of speed, a ton of pace. And up front, he wants that top spot, but he's going to have to make sure that he picks the right line, as will a leader, Isabel, who works around the 291 of Cornish.
10 on the board, Isabel exchanging lanes without the turn signal down on the bottom as he'll go on by pole sitter Riley Slider off turn number 4 to put her down 1 to the counter. And Winger is staying right close with him with 12 complete, 3 laps to go. Isabel slips high. Here comes Tyler Winger down the back straightaway.
Winger's got the pace. He's going to try to drive it in right on the tail of the 6J. Now looking a little bit lower. Sarantakos in the way, moves out of the way. Lap car's not going to be a factor this time through 1 and 2. And Winger right there trying to take away the top spot from Isabel and steal one late.
They head to turn to number 3. Winger down on the rail. Isabel trying to protect the bottom. White flag is up in the air. One more trip around Humberstone here for the Tender Company Mod Light main event. Winger's got one last shot at him. Off turn number 2, he'll lose ground to Isabel. They're into 3 and 4 for the final time.
Just overcooked it a little bit on exit at 2, and that's all that Isabel needs. He'll see the checkers, and it's Joe Isabel taking the win ahead of Tyler Winger. Josh Slider battles on for the 4th spot. Cohen Corbett going to come home in the P4 spot ahead of Sean Iftati.
The shocker didn't shock anybody tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Isabel. Joe, you didn't shock anybody. This thing was on a rail all night. Talk to us about your ride and back to victory lane at Humberstone.
Yeah, I mean, I love this place. It sucks that it's leaving. I'm really hoping the rain holds off for tomorrow so we can see if we can make it 2. The car was awesome. I mean, the track, we walked in, it looked like the track was a little slick, but, I mean, it was real racy, for me at least.
Who do you got to thank? 'Cause you have a lot of supporters on this race car and helping you crew the wrenches on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's just me as far as wrenching, but I have a lot of help back home, guys that help me build the car, and all the guys in Canada. The only reason why I'm here is for Greg, Roger, and Tim, and all them.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's Mod Light feature winner, Joe Isabel. As they work off turn number 4, got along double greens in hand, we are underway.
Good battle through 1 and 2, side by side. Down the back straightaway they work. Friesen to the inside, McPherson to the outside. McPherson going to try to wind it up and take advantage of Friesen coming to the line, but by a nose. James Friesen's going to lead lap number 1. Good battle continuing on at the front of this field. Friesen now clear of McPherson. McPherson continuing to line up and work the high side.
McPherson winding the top side. Friesen down on the bottom. James Michael leads lap 2. McKay in third. Rouse making quick work of the big guy, Dave Small, to take over position number 4. Ferguson will challenge Small for that 5th spot. Seville works off turns number 3 and 4. Single file formation, but the battle is still up front between McPherson and Friesen.
Friesen mostly been in a modified all season long, hasn't had the opportunity to battle too often with that 7 of McPherson, but doing a good job holding him off tonight. Rick's delivery on the side of the 7 for Cody McPherson as he dives to the inside, now trying to set up the move. Thought there might be some daylight down there. He goes back to the top through 3 and 4.
McPherson continuing to roll the top as Jeff Panante takes the 66 pit side. He will stay clean and green as Friesen still leading. McPherson trying a different line. He's on the bottom in 1 and 2, but he's going to roll the top in 3 and 4. We'll see what happens this time as Cody starts to wind it up on the top side as Rouse takes over third from Dan McKay.
Pretty funny stuff, because usually when we're watching a sportsman event, that 72 of Friesen is the car that's going to the outside lane. You got to wonder if he learned a little bit of something starting here earlier in the summer about the bottom side of this racetrack, because he's certainly glued to it, which again, not the usual case for JMF. Loves usually winding it up around the outside, the high, wide, and handsome line, but tonight he's got a button down on the bottom, and it's working for him, but lap traffic going to be a factor within a few laps.
Joe Isabel said it in his Mod White Victory Lane interview, like there is still tackiness. The track is starting to slicken off, but there is still plenty of tackiness in this racetrack. And right now, James Michael is trying to find any inch of real estate he can to keep that 72 up in front. As now McPherson tried the bottom here in 3 and 4 as they work the 78 for Pat Sonnenberg.
Sonnenberg's going to carefully move out of the way, give the leaders all kinds of room and respect. Meanwhile, McPherson keeps knocking at the back door. He'll go back to the top side through 1 and 2. Elijah Nutt makes an evasive maneuver into the infield. He's got issues in that 88 car. And 1 car around on the hot low side of turn 2. I believe that's Noah Mamo in the 3N from my vantage point.
Caution lights are coming on as Noah Mamo loops the 3N in turn number 2.
Time going to click off pretty quick, especially for those top 2. Who's going to take advantage of this restart? Friesen has control of it. He turns them loose. McPherson right with them. In a 1 and 2 they go, and McPherson around the outside is going to try to take the top spot away, but can't do it. Friesen gets the bite out of the corner. Can he clear into 3 and 4?
The bite, the run for JMF. He slips up the hill. Cody's there. Brad trying to get underneath him. Couldn't do it. Friesen keeps the lead. McPherson back to the 2 spot. Rouse in 3rd. Dan Ferguson up to 4th. In that 11 car match. Sharp up to 5th. And here comes Nigel. Nigel Vendikovsky looking for a top 5 run at Humberstone as he's looking underneath Dan McKay to take over position number 6. He'll do so off turn 4.
Cody McPherson needs to get to the top spot. Not just because he needs to win this race, as the yellow flag's going to wave now. But I would try to run away and hide from Brad Rouse, who's going to maybe let Cody know that he didn't appreciate being driven across the nose like that. As 1 car, I believe that's Jessam, is off on the high side of turn 2. And puts us under yellow once again. Brad driving alongside Cody. I don't think overly happy with that 7 car and the driver of it right now.
Zach Sabatka, Gavin Isley, a couple others that are up for grabs next week at Oswego. Green lights are on. But right now, Cody's got to deal with 2 guys that he's been dealing with in the division his whole life. James Michael and Brad Rouse. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Brad would think better of it. James Michael's going to drive him into turn 3 as we got a couple over the edge of the ballpark at the back. I believe that is Dave Small that went over the edge, and Rouse able to take 2nd from Cody McPherson.
Small is parked on the high side of 3 and 4. We'll see if he gets going or if we're going to need to go yellow here. Field's already gone by 1 time, and there it is, the yellow flag out for Small, who of course is now feeling that heel and getting a little bit of a roll back towards the Speedway after they were jammed up. Now, interesting, I don't know where they're going to call this back necessarily, but I believe Brad Rouse is going to be sitting P2 on this restart, and that could be interesting. Let's see what we've got on this restart. Friesen not wasting any time finding the loud pedal. He's going to try to clear up in front of the 185. Oh, and they're stacking up. Here they go. It's the big one at Humberstone. 3, 4, 5 cars involved. More scramble and take evasive maneuvers. And we've got a parking lot down in the middle of 1 and 2 in Port Colborne.
Matteo Panunte, Curtis Friesen, Dan McKay, Dan Ferguson.
I believe that all kind of started with Ferguson. I think he may have got a little bit of help maybe from McKay based on the way those cars were stacked up, but McKay might have been getting a little bit of a push behind as well, and it's go time.
Noah Mammal back up to 8th as we go back to green as Friesen takes off. Rouse to the outside. McPherson back down on the bottom, trying to regain the runner-up position from Rouse. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Rouse will slam the doors shut on Cody, but Cody's going one group lower. Rouse keeps the 2 spot. We're halfway home, but the caution lights are coming on as Billy Fleece Jr. around in turn 2.
Cautions breeding cautions on a Saturday night at Humberstone here tonight.
And right now, anybody would love to get one more win at Humberstone. Friesen and Rouse will take off. Green lights are on. As Brad got a little tight that time.
More stacking up down in corner number 1. And we're going to see caution lights on the racetrack again. Brad, take it easy there. Those two still racing at the front. I'm not sure they knew that there was quite a log jam at the front. Ferguson's, is that right front peeled all the way off? It looks like he's missing a wheel maybe.
That left front looks almost completely peeled off the 11 car.
Left front, yep.
Matteo Panunte involved again. Dan McKay involved again.
And is that Hawkins that's in there too?
Believe it is Chris Hawkins and also the McKinney 519 off the top side of turn number 1.
Well, I think we gave a shout out to almost every single one of those drivers. So the Look Announcer Jinx live and well on Fall Classic weekend here in Humberstone. So sorry guys. Green flag once again. Rouse got a great jump that time. They're wheel to wheel down into corner number 1. And on the outside, Brad Rouse trying to take the top spot. Friesen puts the power down.
JMF back to the lead as they head to turn number 3. Cody down on the bottom trying to get around Brad. Brad trying to cross him off turn number 4. Friesen still up front. Cody trying to bonsai to the bottom. He hits the inside rail. And Tyler has nowhere to go but hit the left rear corner panel of his younger brother's race car, and the caution lights are on again.
Well, it's 2 cars left that haven't been involved in a caution here tonight so far. Cody not happy with Brad Rouse. Oh, and he's going to torpedo that 185. That all started when the 72 Friesen bobbled in 3 and 4 and couldn't quite keep his car on the line that he wanted. And as soon as that happened, Rouse drove right up the rear end. And unfortunately, that started really stacking him up. And McPherson, trying to take advantage of all of it, drove to the inside of Rouse, got pinched into the fence, and it was on from there. Back to green. Friesen's on it ahead of Rouse. As this is starting to look like an elimination style race as the field is really starting to shrink here. Yellow flag, and I figured that one was coming back.
You, me, and everybody in the province. We'll call that one back as James Michael took off in turn 3.
I think Friesen and Rouse are having a conversation with their hands. And I don't know if it's all that pleasant, and I don't think either of them speak Italian, so I'm kind of surprised to see that so much talking with their hands. Let's try this again. Again, we're supposed to start between those 2 pylons. That's a little better. Friesen trying to clear Rouse. Rouse trying to clear on the high side. Oh, Jacob Chevalier is going to slip off almost over the top sign. He'll surrender a spot and maybe up a couple more as Bleach and the 10 of Dave Small slip on by the inside, but Friesen still leads it up front.
Noah Mamo to fourth. Chevalier back to the fifth spot as he's battling with Billy Bleach Jr. into turns number 1 and 2. As Friesen leads Rouse by 2 car lengths. Back to turn number 3. Brad again trying to bottom. Not going to happen that time. Friesen able to keep the lead. We'll click 18 on the board. A dozen to go.
Bleach and Mamo exchanging some bumping there, and now Bleach has an issue. He's going to drop off the high side of the racetrack, stay in the race, but just kind of missed that corner altogether, I guess, and that'll cost him some valuable track position late in this one, as they're going to be coming, I believe, to 10 to go next time by.
Nigel Pentecoski looking for the 4th spot around Noah Mamo. It's closest battle on the racetrack right now. As they work into turns number 3 and 4. 10 laps to go up for Rouse and Friesen. As James Michael trying to put this one to bed. But Rouse trying to reel him in.
Rouse to the inside line, can't seem to gain what he needs to gain to get forward in this one. 9 laps to go, and Friesen in control. Those top 2 cars have separated into themselves as here comes Chevalier past Pentecoski to get back in the top 5. Pentecoski fights back on the outside. Chevalier down low, clears to 5th.
Field working around into 3 and 4. It's still Friesen and Rouse up in front. Chevalier back around Pentecoski. Reclaims the 5th spot. 23 on the board. 7 to go. For the driver of the Bobcat, Hamilton 72s for James Friesen. Trying to pick up another win at Humberstone. But Brad Rouse trying to reel him in. Does he have enough time in real estate to catch the 72?
And what happens if he does get there? This has been a rough and tumble night, a rough and tumble race. Not a ton of damage between those two other than maybe just some restart disagreements. But 5 laps to go, and Friesen is in control and driving away from Rouse on that lap. Rouse trying to eat into that lead. It's about 3 car lengths. It's not impossible, but Rouse needs to find a little extra pace if he wants to steal this one away late.
Friesen trying to run away and hide. He's opened up the lead over Rouse. Here with 4 to go. Sharp in 3rd, Mamo 4th, Chevalier in 5th. So field works down back to 3 and 4 for Friesen. One more time running the top. Brad starting to reel him in, but he's going to start to run out of time in daylight. 3 laps to go.
3 to go, and Brad Rouse trying to track down Friesen. It's like he gains ever so slightly, but just you need more time. And now Friesen's moved up the racetrack trying to cover off that line. With 2 laps to go, can James Friesen hold off Brad Rouse? Rouse has it within maybe 2 car lengths now. He's getting close. There might be something to be said about this race as the white flag will be displayed by flagman Carter Long.
White flags up in the air. Will lap traffic be a factor before this one's said and done? They're off turns number 1 and 2 for the final time. Rouse got a bad push off turn number 2. He'll lose some ground to Friesen. They're heading into turn number 3. Off corner 4. JMF will hold off Brad Rouse to score the win. 3rd to the line will be the 5S for Sharp. 4th will be Mamo. And Jacob Chevalier will complete your top 5 finishers ahead of Pentecoski, Bleach, Small, McKay, and McKinley. Ladies and gentlemen, JMF, James Michael Friesen. A wild and a woolly one, my friend, but you had the best seat out of all of them with an up front starting spot, and you had to hang on for dear life for 30 laps around here.
Yeah, it was tough. Brad and Cody, they're 2 of the best, and Tower was going to let them do whatever they wanted on the restarts, wasn't really letting me dictate it. So, you know, it was really giving them a run, and but the car was good, and I just had the bottom, and I just did what I needed to do.
You did what you needed to do. Who do you got to thank for being back here in victory lane at Humberstone? How special is it to grab one here, one of the last two?
Well, the last one, this is super special. You know, to come here for the last one, you want to win it. You want to be one of the guys over here. You know, but I got to thank Gord McIntosh, Advantage Trailer. He makes this all possible. Ron, Corey, T-Mac. Oh God, I'm losing it right now. My family, my kids, Sterling Lubricants, James Little, DDL, my wife. It's been a crazy week, but it's good to finish it off like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's Sterling Lubricant Sportsman feature winner, JMF, James Michael Friesen. All right, along with double greens in hand, the street stock main event underway at Humberstone. It's going to be Zach Bleach taking off with the top mid starts. They head to turn number 3 for the first time. Whittle looking to the outside, that 17W. Does he have the lead? He does. Travis Whittle to the lead here early on.
Travis Whittle's out front ahead of Bleach. Bailey and Reed mixing it up, and they've got Teeple to their outside, 3 wide. Here comes Tyler French. Don't count out the Brighton area driver in that 0 ride, trying to move his way forward and try to take the win on this potential final night. Of course, Mother Nature threatening us tomorrow, but we're threatening her back with a good time on a Sunday night.
As they head to turn number 3, here comes Tyler French. French looking underneath Dave Bailey. Pete Reed trying to get one groove lower than French. Couldn't do it that time. Bailey keeps third. Whittle still up in front. Zach Bleach right down up against the inside rail as they work 4 wide at the back. Here comes Jason Fontaine. Fonzie underneath the racing surfer dude, Robbie Disher, and Go Fast People, all racing for spots 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Meanwhile, up at the front, 4 cars under a blanket. Whittle under fire from Zach Bleach, who's got Bailey and French breathing down his neck. This could be a 3-wide battle for the lead, and it's going to be. Here comes French. He's got to back out of it as the 108 slams the door on the 0 ride, and here comes Bailey around the outside. He'll try to get to the back bumper of the 108 and try to set something up down in a 1 and 2. Great racing at all ends of the racetrack here, but up at the front, it is a dandy. Here comes Bailey through the middle. What a move!
Brewster Baker trying to grease up the sides of both Zach Bleach and Travis Whittle for the lead. They're off turn number 4. Whittle has the spot. Bailey trying to get there in the 49. Bleach in 3rd. French 4th. Pete Reed 5th. Mikey Bobby in 6th. And Fontaine's in 7th. As Go Fast Teeple took his 11 pit side. Out of harm's way, will stay clean and green as the field off turn number 4. New race leader, it's Dave Bailey on lap 7.
Whitle's got to fight back here on the outside. Do not want to let Bailey get clear to this top spot because he might be giddy gone before you know it. Meanwhile, good battle for the 4th spot on the racetrack. Reed and the 0 of French, they're doing battle there. The 0-5 on the inside, 0, and here comes the Fonz up to P6. From doing a transmission change right there in the pits pre-race to making it out and driving his way forward all the way up to the back half, or the front half, excuse me, of the top 10, trying to break into that top 5, but he's got some distance to make up if he's going to challenge French for a 5th spot.
One car slowing on the top of 1 and 2. I believe that's out of harm's way. We should be able to stay clean and green. Field works off the turn. We will. One of the 4 cars able to pull it in. Pit side, we're staying clean and green up front with Dave Bailey. And the race is on for a second. Here comes Zach Bleach trying once again to look underneath Whittle as they head to turn 3.
Down low, the 108 of Zach Bleach is right there trying to find some pace on the bottom side. Whittle doing a good job on the outside in that 17 ride. Has something figured out for sure. Now we'll surrender the spot as Bleach takes the Elmo machine past it into the P2 position. Now, Reed under fire from French. Fontaine trying to find his way up into this mix as well. Might need a caution, but that 1J's got some pace in it. But at the halfway point of this one, It's all the Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey.
Bailey up in front. We're halfway home this time by 13 in, a dozen to go. Fontaine trying to reel in Tyler French. Pete Reed getting around Whittle to take over third. French trying to reclaim the fourth spot. As we got John Overholt spinning at turn number 3, and the caution lights are coming on.
Everybody catch your breath. We've got a reset now with 12 to go on the board.
A dozen to go. As the street stocks roar back to life at Humberstone.
Bailey's going to clear off of 1 and 2 ahead of Bleach. Whittle trying to follow him through. Fontaine, meanwhile, mixing it up with French. French gives a shot to the back of the 17. And around the outside, the crazy alien, Pete Reed, looking for P3, and he'll take that spot.
Pete Reed up to third. He's going to try to bring Fontaine with him with the outside groove. But Whittle and French right there in front of Fontaine as they work down the back straightaway. Mikey Bobby trying to make that four-car battle for position number 4 as they work off of turn number 4 with 15 on the counter, 10 to go.
Reed to the outside, looking to try to find a way past Bleach. Hasn't been able to do it just yet. Bleach hanging tough on that inside line, but Reed looks like he's got pace. Looks like he might have found something upstairs. Almost had the door slammed in his face, though. That GSR 108 drove right up in front of Reed for a split second, gave him some room, and Reed fights back. Good battle for the second spot as they work into 3 and 4.
Pete Reed and Zach Bleach wheel to wheel into turns number 3 and 4. Reed's gonna swing the top and he'll take over second. And the race is on between two of the best nicknames in Southern Ontario. Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey going up against the crazy alien Pete Reed. As Mikey Bobby goes around in turn number 1, there's another one, but I believe the caution lights are coming on, and it is for the Burger Barn 55.
Tough break for Thorne. Coming back to green this time, and it's Bailey and Reed out front. 8 laps to go, and the Brewster Baker is trying to get away on this restart. Good run on the outside from the 0-5 of Reed. They're neck and neck down off of exit. Now French giving a little bump draft to the back of the 0-5. Is this Humberstone or Talladega? Either way, Reed getting a little bit of an assist, but not enough to keep pace with Bailey on the restart.
Fontaine able to get around Whittle for 5th, and this brings Nick Massey into this. Where is Nick Massey's from? But they're 3 wide for second. What a move by Tyler French. He'll take over the runner-up position. Fontaine tried a copycat move. Didn't quite work. Bleach will slam the door in his face. They work off the turn, and now Bleach, Reed, and Fontaine battle for third.
French heard the pay window's open, and he's trying to find a way by. About a car length, maybe 2, to catch Bailey. Gets a lot of time made up on entry, but Bailey just so smooth on exit, finding the throttle and driving away. 5 laps to go, 5 fingers in the air from starter Carter Long. Down the back straightaway, it's about a 3-car length advantage for the 49 of Bailey, maybe more.
Dave Bailey leads him into turn number 3. Off the 4th corner, 4 laps to go for the Queenston Chev 49 for Brewster Baker. Tyler French still runs in the runner-up position. Pete Reed, Zach Bleach, wheel to wheel for 3rd. Jason Fontaine 5th in the 1J after starting deep in the field and after making a transmission change between the heat and the feature. As Fontaine looks for 4th with 3 laps to go.
Recently married man, Jason Fontaine. Might have to go and run him down for some marriage tips here, but that 1J really should be handing out driving tips the way he's carved through the field right now. Starting to stall out, though, as Bleach and Reed side by side in front of him, holding that 1J's position. 2 laps to go, and it's all Bailey out front. Battles on for 3rd still.
Great 3-car battle for 3rd. Another great 3-car battle for 6th, too. Nick Massey, Whittle, and Evan Curtis. As the white flag is up in the air for Dave Bailey. One more trip around Humberstone, or will it? Caution lights are coming on. Craig Crowe slowed in turn number 3. John Overhaul will also spin to avoid. Caution lights are coming on.
Crowe and Overholt both have issues, and we are going to be headed for overtime. Not going to be an overtime start,
Strike
just a
that.
one-lap shootout, I believe.
With 24 on the counter.
We'll
Mr.
see.
Green and White will happen at the same time as we're back underway.
Bailey gets a great jump, is clear by, oh, hard hit for Larmett. Huge hit for the 601. Tire ripped off of that, and we are under yellow once again as Jeff Larmett, I see him moving in there, and I believe has put the net down, taking the steering wheel off. Not sure what started all that, but man, oh man, that was a rough ride for the 601. He's quickly out of the race car. RaceMed's crew on the scene. He's not happy with somebody. Bailey gets the run down the hill and drives off from French. In a 1 and 2, Dave Bailey, multi-time track champion here at Humberstone, looking to close out street stock racing here tonight. Checkers are going to wave. French isn't going to get there. The Brewster Baker. Dave Bailey wins it ahead of Tyler French. Zach Bleach brings it home in the 3rd spot ahead of Pete Reed and Jason Fontaine from the trailer, changing a transmission to a top 5.
Getting ready to climb it out, ladies and gentlemen. Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Dave, once you got up front, it's pretty much clear sailing, and once again, it was a Dave Bailey racetrack here at Humberstone.
Yeah, I can't believe that we're here. We weren't very good in the heat race, and just struggled to finish 4th. And the racetrack came around. The racetrack was awesome tonight, and just running around on the bottom and stay out of trouble. It was, I don't know, I can't believe it. It's awesome.
If this was indeed the final one out of all the wins at this racetrack, all the championships you've had here, where does this one rank for you?
This is really big, man. You never like to see a racetrack go away, but when you can win the last one, that's pretty special. Along with the All-Canadians that we got, the very first All-Canadian was pretty special too. And just thanks to Terry to keep this thing going as long as it did, and just appreciate the staff here for doing everything that they did for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Dave, who else you got? Thanks, sponsor-wise. Help get this thing to victory lane.
Yeah, obviously I thank Queenston Chev, Jibs Action Sports, Transaxle, my dad, Mark. My son's now here again. Awesome night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey, tonight's GR Enviro Street Stock Feature winner. Three more features set to come your way tonight. We've got the crate sprints, we got the SOS, and then we will have the mighty 358 modifieds. We'll wrap up the night here on a Saturday night at Humberstone.
And they are set to star in this one as the crate sprints. See, the flags are up and the pedals are down. Away we go at Humberstone. In a corner number 1, hang on to it. Somebody slide away up off there. A couple cars going way up high. And look at that, Jacob Dykstra wasting no time. The 5D up to P3 on the opening lap.
Dykstra not done yet as Cam Thompson in 4th, Hennessy in 5th. As lap 1 of the books goes to Brian Nanico, because we got one slowing on the top side of turn number 4, and the caution lights are coming on.
I believe that's Cameron Ohm, but I'm not 100% sure on my vantage point here. But right now we got to get back to green. It's Brian Nanicoke who's going to be out front for this restart. The 9C, here comes the Crow.
He's gone, he's got the whole shop, and here comes Jake Dykstra underneath Johnny Miller. He'll take the 2 spot away as Dykstra takes over the runner-up position, and the race is on. Get the 5D, catch the 9C of Nanicoke. Miller's got his hands full of Cam Thompson and the 87 of Andrew Hennessy.
Hennessy had bad fast speed early in the night in that 87. He's trying to pick up where he left off in the heats earlier on a Saturday night. Right now, putting the pace to the back of that 20 machine of Johnny Miller. And here comes Dykstra with a run for the lead. To the inside of Nanakoke, give the top spot to the 5D. The 9C trying to battle back, but the Kanata Fuels machine must surrender. And the Dykstra Gaston's Auto Sales ride up to the front.
McKinnon's 85C went over the edge of turn 4. He was able to bring it back in the ballpark to stay clean and green as Dykstra up in front. Nanakoke second, Hennessy in third, Miller fourth, Cam Thompson in fifth, and Tyler Willard in seventh in that 777A, trying to get to the Hofstetter 2 for position number 6.
Al Slate's picked up a couple positions since the start of this one. Working the outside line, trying to make the move on the GR Enviro Rail 72 of Tanner Podwinski. He'll do so. And now looking to make the move on Willard. Can't make it that time. Al Slate will have to settle back in line with that green and white 2S down the backstretch.
He'll works off turn number 4. Jake Dykstra up in front. He's got lap traffic to contend with here on lap number 7. They will not make it easy for Jake as he'll roll the outside line to clear the 52 machine. He's able to keep this one under wraps as Dykstra starts to pull away.
Nanakoke doing a good job hanging on to P2 as Hennessy drawing a bead on him, but hasn't been able to really work forward enough to keep pace with the Dykstra 5D. Dykstra just out in his own postal code right now on a Saturday night, trying to zip through traffic here, and we'll get by Baker, who's making his first career start.
Making a rare crate sprint start in 2024 and a rare start in a sprint car in Ontario. For Jake Dykstra with 10 on the board. He's held up in traffic into turns number 1 and 2. He tried to get around the 11, couldn't do it. Now Dykstra will finally go on by. That could have been a move that Jake should just settle it down, get to the outside and roll, and not go to the bottom as the lappers are not adhering to the move over flag. It's Andrew Hennessy was able to get around Nanakoke for second.
Hennessy through to second. Does he have enough time? Can he run down the 5D, who's deep in traffic? McKinnon, the next one to go down a lap. And McKinnon, again, wants that bottom side. Dykstra trying to force the issue down low, and he will on the back straightaway. The Dykstra machine puts another car down a lap. Meanwhile, up front, Hennessy can't seem to close on Dykstra. Dykstra continues to mow down lap traffic and drive away from second place Hennessy, who's moved to the top side around Baker.
Andrew Hennessy will use the late model knowledge to roll the top in that 87. He'll plant the right rear on top of the cushion and just be able to let it slide up in front. He'll work on the 11 next. Here with 14 on the board, it'll be 10 to go for Jake Dykstra as he'll work on the 777 down low. He'll take care of that without any issues. Dykstra running away and hiding.
Starting to be a little bit of clear racetrack in front of Dykstra as well. Not what Hennessy wants to see, as there's 3 lap cars separating those two at about half a racetrack as well. Maybe not quite that much. Hennessy is maybe gaining a little bit, ever so slightly, on that 5D. But Dykstra in control of this one firmly, and will hopefully see clean racetrack for much of the rest of this race for his sake.
Jacob Dykstra, third generation driver out of Port Colborne, trying to defend home turf here at Humberstone tonight. Down the back straightaway, he'll get around, try to get around the Kiana Teal 24 car as Hennessy is starting to reel in Dykstra ever so slightly. But Cam Thompson, though, starting to reel in Hennessy. Will he get there before it's said and done?
I think Thompson might have a better chance of getting Hennessy before Hennessy gets to Dykstra. Those lap cars really playing a factor for Hennessy as he's going to split the middle and get around McKinnon and now try to follow up by getting by the Teach. There's Young in the 8 car tonight. Hennessy not able to get by, and Dykstra forcing the issue by Kiana Teal.
Forcing the issue, 5 to go for Jake Dykstra. Adrian Staley will be up next for your race leader as Nanakoke trying to hang on with Al Slight right behind him. That's for position inside the top 5 with Podwinski and Willard all right there, all fighting for spots in lap traffic is Jake Dykstra. You can start writing the check right now for the Gaston's Auto Sales 5-day.
It's been an impressive return to sprint car racing, and no, Baker has come to a halt, the rookie. And with 3 to go on the board, have a little shootout here. And Dykstra's been fast, but is he restart fast with Hennessy right there on his tail? We'll find out.
Dykstra fires first. Everybody down on the rail. We're back to green.
Dykstra away with the top spot. Thompson going to immediately try to run down the 87 of Hennessy. Hennessy running out of time here. They're coming to 2 to go this time, and it's all Jacob Dykstra out front.
Jacob Dykstra, the Gaston's Auto Sales, the Lake 5D, trying to run away and hide. Hennessy, Thompson, Keegan Baker fourth, Willard and Slate battle for fifth. It's a white flag up in the air for Jake Dykstra.
What a return to the sprint car world for Jacob Dykstra. Homecoming at that here at Humberstone as the crate sprints drive for potentially the last time at a corner 4. The 5D, Jacob Dykstra takes the win in the Gaston's Auto Sales ride ahead of Hennessy, Thompson, Baker, and Al Slate drives his way forward to a top 5 spot. The 777 of Willard will finish in the 6th spot. Then it's Miller, the 72 of Podwinski.
He's getting ready to climb on out, ladies and gentlemen, Jake Dykstra! Jake, winning a sprint car race is one thing, but doing it here, how special is it to be back in victory lane in a sprint car, not only in Niagara, but right here at Humberstone?
Yeah, it feels really good. Yeah, it was a long journey to get here, 2 years out of a car. And yeah, it's really fun to get back in and still be as fast as we were when we were out of it. And yeah, I got to thank Terry Vince for letting us come here. I know it's been a little bit of a crapshoot the past 2 years, so it's nice to be back. And I got to thank my sponsors, Lake Foundry, Gaston Auto Sales. I got to thank my crew too, my girlfriend, Seth, my dad, Dave, Ryan, all these guys. They work their butts off all week, and yeah, this one was for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, your crate sprint car feature winner, Jake Dykstra.
Championship race at Humberstone is green.
Good battle at the front between Farnham and Martin. Leah Martin diving to the inside, trying to find a way by Farnham, can't do it. Dryden battling with Westbrook. Good action on this opening lap here for the 360s. Now Farnham is clear of Martin. Dryden still trying to work by the 47X of Westbrook, who's got it wound up on the outside and clear to P3 in the Sovereign Fusion 47X.
D-Dubs quickly trying to go after Leah Martin as Mike Bowman up to 5th already in the 71 as they head down the back straightaway. Side by side for 6th now between Sheridan and the 28 of Poirier as they work off turn number 4. No change yet, but Westbrook to the outside of Martin for 2nd.
Out front, Farnham doing a good job pacing this field. Enjoying some clean racetrack. Meanwhile, Mike Bowman trying to make his way forward in this one. Sparks flying off the brakes of the 71, who slides on by. Might give Mike Bowman peanut 4 in this one. Top 3 cars starting to close in on each other as Westbrook's making up time on the outside.
Field continues to stretch themselves out around Humberstone as Jordan Poirier's on the march. In the 28, he's looking to the outside of Darren Dryden. He'll take the 5th spot away. 5th spot goes to Poirier as Westbrook again trying to rock the top to get around William Martin. Couldn't do it in turn number 2. Can he do it here in turn number 3? He sets it up, sinks it on top of the cushion. New second place car, Dylan Westbrook on lap 7.
Westbrook really seems to be the only driver who's making something work on the outside. Nicky Sheridan's using that middle groove, battling there with Ryan Turner. Both of them are advancing forward on the 12 DD of Darren Dryden, who set a new track record earlier in the evening. What a night to do it on the final trip around Humberstone for these 360 sprints.
Dylan Westbrook doing one test in the waters on the outside early on in turns 1 and 2. Matt Farnham's going to let it sing on the top side of turn 4. Caution, the lights are coming on. Tyler Paulus to the top side of turn number 2. Caution lights are on. As we'll try to restack the back half of the field. Mike Bowman to the pits. Your 4th place car is going to the attention of Corby and the crew.
I saw some sparks flying off of it. I thought it was initially the brakes, but I think something else might be rubbing or grinding on that 71 car, and that's going to force a bit of a reset on that driver's night here. Back to green this time. And it's Westbrook around the outside trying to mount a charge, but look at the run off the bottom side that Farnham got.
Matt Farnham able to protect the lead. Westbrook second, Leo Martin third, and here comes Jordan Boyer. Boyer trying to make his presence felt here at Humberstone. He's got third from Liam Martin heading to turn number 3, but Liam's going to drive right on back by him as they're on turn number 4. Battle's on for third.
Great battle there for the 3rd spot. Martin not giving an inch. Poirier trying to take an inch. Gets another great drive off. That extreme low line has got some grip. I don't know if Poirier saw what Farnham did on that initial start and if he's banked it in his memory banks, but it's almost identical. If you can keep the car right against the barrier off of corner number 2, you can find some drive down the back straightaway, and Poirier's doing just that, approaching the back wing of that 47 machine.
Jordan Poirier's trying to do what only a few people could do here in Southern Ontario, and that is beat and pass the 47X, and he did it with standing still. Jordan Poirier going right after Dylan Westbrook off turn number 4. Poirier to the 2 spot on lap 13.
Westbrook committed to that outside, is not going away. Both of them are reeling in Farnham. Look at the run that Poirier gets that time. He has got something cooking off of turn 2. Jordan Poirier coming back from an ESS night last night at Fulton. He's trying to follow it up with a big performance here at Humberstone and doing a great job of it. Top 2 are going to be battling for that top spot in just a few moments, if not very next lap.
We're coming for halfway. Next time by, it'll be 15 in, 15 to go. Matt Farnham leads, Jordan Poirier second, Dylan Westbrook third, Liam Martin fourth, Ryan Turner and Darren Dryden side by side for fifth. They're off turn 4. We're halfway home, and your leader is Matt Farnham.
But for how long as Poirier stalks him into 1 and 2? Lap traffic going to jam him up. Look at the run that Poirier gets to the inside. What a move from Jordan Poirier. Farnham back to the bottom side. It's a dandy at Humberstone in the 360s. They're on each other. Poirier comes away with the top spot.
Jordan Poirier to the top spot, but Matt Farnham still right there. Al Giletta's a sit and duck. They head to turn number 3. Poirier's going to have to roll the top to get around the Giletta 22. Farnham's going to try to stick it in the bottom. Couldn't do it. Poirier keeps the top spot. Farnham's able to clear Giletta. And here comes Westbrook, but Giletta slides up right in front of him. And this will bring Liam Martin into this battle for third.
Here comes the 9 of Liam Martin, the live wire to the bottom side. Martin trying to get to the inside of Westbrook and clear him. Westbrook fights back on the outside. He'll hang on to third for now. Lap traffic going to be a factor before this one's over. Still 11 to go next time by the stripe. And Jordan Poirier out front has gotten a little bit of breathing room over the 7NY.
10 laps to go for Jordan Poirier. Down the back straightaway, Dale Curran up next for the driver of the 28. Farnham in second, Westbrook third, Liam Martin fourth, Ryan Turner in fifth, and Nick Sheridan got around Darren Dryden. He's trying to get around the Gilletta car, and all top 6, all right there, nose to tail, but Poirier starts to pull away.
Poirier continuing to try to work past lap traffic. Up next, it'll be Aaron Turkey's Oshweek in 68 to put down a lap. Meanwhile, Farnham is yet to get by Curran in the 70mm. He'll need to do that if he wants another shot to get back by Poirier. Poirier now to the top side. We'll try to make a move on Turkey. Speaking of the top side, here comes Westbrook with a head of steam. He's closing on Farnham for second.
Here comes D-Dubs. He's got Dale Curran right in front of him. He'll have to slow it a little bit. Farnham able to out-drag Curran down the back straight away, and Liam Martin's there again to challenge Westbrook for third. They're off turn at number 4. Back to the line one more time, and Westbrook, this goes right to the rear tail tank. Out to Farnham 7F into turns number 1 and 2. They're coming for 5 to go for Poirier.
Westbrook on the high side trying to find a way around that Farnham 7NY. Down low, Farnham's got it cooking. Here comes Westbrook with a head of steam. He gets slid up in front of Farnham, puts the block on him. Now Westbrook to the outside again. Maybe tips a little bit too far over the edge there, and he'll surrender a little bit of track position, but he'll try to gain it back in 3 and 4.
Off that 4th corner onto the main straightaway. Matt Farnham keeping Dylan Westbrook at bay with 4 laps to go. Westbrook dancing with the devil for how long at Humberstone? Down the back straightaway. Farnham found the fight off turn number 2, but Westbrook's going to stay right with him as they're off turn number 4. The battle's on for the 2 spot.
Jordan Poirier trying to close things out at Humberstone. Back racing in Southern Ontario, hasn't been here a bunch. Didn't quite have the run that he wanted in the Nationals, but he's trying to make up for it now. 2 laps to go for Jordan Poirier.
Jordan Poirier into turn number 1 and 2. He'll try to get around the Ashton Van Every 77. He's trying to go 3 wide in lap traffic. Poirier's going to have to think better of it. He does. He'll clear a white flag up in the air.
One more trip around for Jordan Poirier. Can he hold on? Can he stay out of trouble in lap traffic? Al Gilletta going to go yet another lap down. Westbrook trying to take second spot. Now Liam Martin's going to take that spot away. Checkers will wave. And the final 360 sprint car feature in Humberstone history goes to Jordan Poirier. Second to Dylan Westbrook. And the 7NY of Matt Farnham going to claim the final spot on the podium. Liam Martin is 4th. Ryan Turner 5th. But in the history books, write Jordan Poirier's name. He wins the final 360 sprint car feature at Humberstone Speedway, and he will head to Quick Victory Lane and catch up with Stephen Petty in a moment.
Getting ready to climb on out, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Poirier. Jordan, that run off turn number 2, like every single lap, turn 2 was your perfect spot here at this racetrack. Talk to us about your fun ride tonight.
God, I love Humberstone, man. I miss this place. We've been so good in the past year, so we decided at 1 today to come. Actually, we ran Fulton earlier today, so we didn't know if you were coming, but yeah, it feels so freaking good to win one. It's been a crazy day for us.
A crazy long day at 2 completely different racetracks at the opposite end of the spectrum. But this thing was a rocket ship. You got a lot of crew guys back here that worked their tails off all the day for you.
Oh yeah, it's been a long weekend, and I can't thank them enough. Some of them didn't want to come, some wanted more than, so hopefully it's the cherry on top to win it tonight. And to win the last one here, we've been so good. It's so sad to see this place go. Oh man, I love this place, and I'll miss it for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Southern Ontario Sprint feature winner, Jordan Poirier. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to introduce to you the cars and stars of the 358 Modifieds getting ready to do battle here tonight at Humberstone for what could possibly be the final time. We will start in position number 22, outside row number 11. The Mountain View Homes 2 Cool Machine. Out of Welland, it's Derek Van Mill.
and scheduled to start off 21st. The Ashwegan Speedway, GSR Racing number 0, the Ashwegan Flyer, Glenn Stiers.
Starting on the outside of row number 10 in the Vinton Peters Willard Concrete and Trucking 88 machine, the penetrator, it's Shane Pierce. To his inside, it'll be the GSR 74 of Dave Flanagan Jr.
Next row up to the in and outside lane, your 18th starter, driving the exclusive imprint 2X machine, it's Tom Neal. And rolling off 17th in the Zajac Funeral Home Toast and Roast Cafe, 678 out of Niagara Falls, the Professor John Smith.
Starting on the outside of row number 8 in the Overtime Pub, 212, Martin Pullhill, scheduled to roll off to his inside, the 35G of Brandon Gruhl.
Row number 7, your 14th place starter, driving the JFL Environmental Tim Hortons Niagara Employment Help Center number 96, the Bones Mobile for Fast, Freddie Carlton. And on Freddie's inside, rolling off 13th in the Bills Toyota number 82, the veteran Ken Winfield.
On the outside of row number 6, we already saw him in victory lane once tonight in the crate sprints. It's the 5D Gaston's Auto Sales ride for Jacob Dykstra. To his inside will be the 18D of Kalen Draper in the Draper Doors machine.
Starting off in position number 10, outside row number 5, the veteran out of Ridgeway, Ontario, it's Flying Brian Page. And rolling off 9th in the Summit Accesso, Audi Niagara, number 35, Nelson Mason.
On the outside of row number 4, in the 8th position, it's the 38W of Scott Wood, piloting the Fresh Stone Brands machine. To his inside will be the 18R for Sterling Lubricants. 18R is Brad Rouse.
Rolling off in position number 6, out of Wilson, New York, he drives the Transport Sales and Service TMS Powder Coating, Bicknell Racing Products, Bud's Apple Pie 38, the Renegade, Ryan Susi. And lining up 5th out of St. Catharines in the Recreation Store, Blue Moon Potatoes, DDL & Co. Cameras Trucking number 28, the veteran Todd Gordon.
Starting in the 4th position, in the 441, it's B-Mac Boyd McTavish. And starting on the inside of row number 2, in the 3rd spot, your Merrittville Speedway modified champion in the Gaston's Auto Sales KR37S. Give a call to Gary Lindbergh.
And on the front row, in the Tim Hortons Otis Dirt Racing 26C out of Port Colborne, Cool Hand Luke Carlton. And on the pole, in the Glenn Stiers Racing Ashwegan Speedway GForceTV number 20 out of St. Catharines, the Mongrel Jay Mallory. Double greens in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime. The modifieds are on at Humberstone.
Down the back straightaway, good battle for the lead, better battle for the 5th spot as they were 3 wide briefly as Boyd McTavish is going to drop a couple. Susi comes up the middle, and Luke Carlton will lead lap 1 ahead of Jay Mallory. Now the Mongrel under fire from Gary Lindbergh, who's trying to fight his way up to battle for the top spot. Not to be outdone, Ryan Susi up to P4 after 1 lap.
The Renegade up to the 4th spot, but Gary Lindbergh wants second around Jay Mallory as quickly as humanly possible. He'll try to take the Andrew Sittler on 37S around Mallory, but right now Lindbergh's fallen in the clutches of Ryan Susi. As they're into turns number 3 and 4, they're off that 4th corner, wheel to wheel. Lindbergh, Susi, Mallory, 2, 3, 4.
Carlton trying to drive away with it, the oldest dirt racing ride. Great YouTube content from that team. Luke and Freddie well documented around their travels and their racing in Southern Ontario, and I'm sure tonight's going to be a special one regardless of the outcome. But what a special one it could be if he can win it somehow. A little bit of smoke off the 441 of McTavish, and I believe we're going to get a caution flag. Tom Neal is around on the high side of top 2. Well, at least come to a stop on the high side of turn 2. And everybody catch your breath after just a few opening laps.
And Tom Neal will drive the exclusive imprint away as Boyd McTavish is a little heavier plume of smoke out of the 441. Restart green upcoming. Field off turn number 4. Carlton and Lindbergh will mash the gas and make it go fast. We're back underway.
And it's a crossover move as Lindbergh jumps to the high side into 1 and 2, and Luke Carlton dove to the bottom. Now into 3 and 4. Looks like they're going to cross each other over again as we got one stopped on the high side. It is the 35G of Brandon Gruhl and hasn't been spotted yet. There it is. Now the yellow will fly for Brandon Gruhl, who slipped up off the top side, and we'll re-rack him, restack him, try it again. As Wolf McTavish, I think the worst thing that car can do is slow down, as it seems like under yellow. That's when that thing really starts spraying for skeeters, like you say.
Lindbergh, Carlton, Susie, and Mallory with 30 to go. The green lights are on. And Gary Lindbergh got the jump on Luke Carlton, and hello, goodbye. Lindbergh to the lead. Carlton second, Mallory third, almost 3 wide for fourth. Susie, Rouse, and Wood as they work off turn number 4.
Mallory used that outside line to get back by Susie. He's up to the 3rd spot. Susie's going to regain some ground on him and try to mount another challenge on the 20 car for the final spot on the podium. Still plenty of laps on the board, but Lindbergh out early in front of this field. Not a good sign for the competition as that 37S looks to take advantage and drive off on a Saturday night cruise.
In 2 other modified races here at Humberstone, he lost both to his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law right now racing at Fulton Speedway in the 200. But Gary Lindbergh up in front right now in that 37S. Coolhand Luke in second, the Mongrel in third, the Renegade Ryan Susie fourth, Scott Wood fifth, a pair of 38s running in the top 5 with Rouse hanging on to 6th.
Lindbergh driving away from Carlton, who's got a good gap back to the 20 car of Mallory. Scott Wood giving Ryan Susie all he can handle on this run after Wood was maybe the subject of some criticism from other drivers in the field. Now he's settled comfortably into that top 5 spot in the Fresh Zone Brands ride, but hasn't been able to work his way any further. Now we got 2 pairs of 18s going at it here as the 18R of Brad Rouse holding back the 18D of Draper.
Rouse trying to hang on to the Draper 18. Draper tried to look underneath Rouse into turn number 1. He couldn't do it that time. Down the back straightaway. Ryan Susie starting to turn up the wick on the Mongrel. Jay Mallory off turn number 4. But Mallory able to keep the 3rd spot for now with 12 complete as Lindbergh about to hit lap traffic.
First up, it's Brandon Gruhl in that 35G. Been tough to pass in a modified in the past, and that's jammed up some leaders. Lindbergh able to get by cleanly, no problems there. Holds an over 3.5 second advantage on Luke Carlton. We'll see if the lap traffic slows down that 37S at all, or if he continues to mind the gap out front.
One of the all-time winningest drivers in sportsman competition here at the Humberstone Speedway, Gary Lindbergh. He was not a 3-time track champion here for nothing, as he's trying to pick up another modified win and do it here at Humberstone with 15 on the board. And it's all Gary Lindbergh up in front. Luke Carlton a tough time negotiating Brandon Gruhl in second, as Susie still hounding Jay Mallory for 3rd.
The Mongrel up front there in the 3rd spot ahead of Susie. Susie knocking at the back door, has not yet been able to get around him, trying to find a way by, as you can really see the black of the racetrack start to develop, especially in 1 and 2, and in 3 and 4 now as well. Luke Carlton trying to chase some of that clean dirt up on the high side through 3 and 4. Didn't really gain any advantage there, although over the last few laps he's picked up about a half second as Lindbergh tiptoes his way past lap traffic.
Tom Neal and Bill and Kenny Winfield are up next for Gary Lindbergh here at the halfway juncture. As Brad Rouse spins in turn number 4, he goes over the edge, and that will bring out the caution. Yellow, yellow, yellow for the 18R. Brad was running 6th at the time, and he'll loop the Sterling Lubricants, Doneth Motorworks. Bud's Apple Pie, Henry's Exhaust 18R. 18 in, 17 to go. Rouse will bring the 18R back onto the racetrack. He'll tag up at the back. We'll go green right now. Lindbergh will make it go first in the 37S. As Ryan Susie got a great restart for the Renegade. Into turns number 1 and 2 is now Derek Van Mill and Dave Flanagan get together on the front straightaway. So the restart that Susie and Lindbergh had will be all for nothing.
See if Flanagan can get going again. Looks like might be flat left front from my vantage point on that 74. Yeah, maybe some more damage to that vehicle beyond just the flat tire. RaceMed crews down there. CAA crews down there as well. Race fans, one more time, give a call to our RaceMed crews and our CAA Niagara crews that work so hard at multiple different racetracks and facilities to keep our drivers safe, our crews safe, and you, the spectators, safe as well. Give it up for RaceMed and CAA Niagara.
We'll try it again. Lap 18 in the book, 17 to go. Gary Lindbergh will fire first in between the barrels of turn number 4. Green lights are on. We're back underway.
Lindbergh on the inside trying to drive away from Luke Carlton. Meanwhile, Mallory with a better start from the inside line this time, not letting Susie by. And then Nelson Mason's having a good fight there with Draper and the 38 of Wood. Wood gets a great drive off the corner, and now he wants in on the top 5 battle.
Scott Wood, a winner of the Pete Costco Memorial, driving right underneath Ryan Susie.
Martin Polhill in the 212 has gone off the banking on the high side of 1 and 2. And we're going to have yet another caution as these drivers having a hard time stringing together some laps. Brad Rouse not happy with Tom Neal. He's all over the backside of the 2X. And going to show some displeasure there in front of Neal in that Killens Woodcraft 2X. Green flag will wave once again, and it's Lindbergh away from Carlton. Wood on the outside trying to make some hay in the Fresh Dome Brands machine, and he'll do so clear of Mallory, but Mallory's going to fight back to the inside, and here comes Nelson Mason with a head of steam. And don't look now, Freddie Carlton working his way forward in this one too.
Where did Scott Wood and Nelson Mason come from? Up to spots 3 and 4 for Woody and Nelson Mason as they're off that 4th corner. Susie able to get around Jay Mallory. He'll reclaim the spot position number 5 right now for the 38. Here with 22 on the counter is now Freddie Carlton will go to work on Jay Mallory fast. Freddie driving Ivan 61 on one side, the Bonesmobile on the other side. Position number 6 for Freddie Carlton. 7th is Mallory, 8th is Draper, 9th is the Penetrators, Shane Pierce, and Glenn Stiers is 10th, but this one is all Gary Lindbergh's off turn 4.
Lindbergh looking strong out front, now really driving away from Luke Carlton. Scott Wood needs to get by Carlton if he wants to try to run down that 37S. Doesn't look like he's got the pace for that. Has the pace for a top 3 car, but a winning car, doesn't seem like anybody's got anything right now for Gary Lindbergh.
8 tail ends and 2 thumbs. It's 10 to go for Gary Lindbergh. Luke Carlton in second, but Scott Woods quickly reeling in cool hand to Luke for the runner-up position as they work off turn number 4. It's a car length separation between 2nd and 3rd as Lindbergh has this one by a full straightaway.
No sign of lap traffic in front of him. Oh, that got close between 2 lap cars. Ken Winfield forced off the racetrack after banging bars there with the 35G of Gruel. Looks like Winfield might just take it straight to the pits after the evasive maneuvers. Yes, he will. Winfield and the Bills Toyota machine into the pit area. Then Gruel will be the first car set to go lap down to our leader, Lindbergh, again here at Humberstone.
Brandon Gruel received the move over flag. Gary Lindbergh will sail right on by on the inside line into turn number 3 for the Gaston's Auto Sales 37S. The Andrew Sittler prepared machine for Gary Lindbergh. Trying to set his sights on another win at Humberstone. as he works into 3 and 4 one more time. 5 laps to go for Gary Lindberg.
Lindberg leads it. Big difference back to Luke Carlton. It's a 4.8 second advantage. That would mean that Carlton's got to make up about a second a lap. And I just don't see that happening right now as Clean Racetrack is in front of our leader Lindberg with 4 laps to go. What a year it's been for Gary Lindberg. Was in the mix for multiple modified wins, had some trouble, had some run-ins with other drivers at Merrittville and other racetracks around Southern Ontario. Had some success Friday nights battling for a championship with his brother-in-law Matt Williamson at Ransomville. Caught fire in the month of July and cruised to a Merrittville track title. And now Lindberg, who already has written his name in the record books as a 3-time champion of the sportsman division here at Humberstone, looks to potentially be the final modified winner here at Humberstone.
Field will work off turn number 4. Gary Lindberg will see the white flag for the final time. Lindberg will hit his marks off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. The Gaston's Auto Sales, Rona Fortieri, Andrew Sittler prepared, 37S. Gary Lindberg will win another one at Humberstone. Second to the line in a close battle. Scott Wood will edge out Luke Carlton. Nelson Mason fourth, and Ryan Susie will complete your top 5 finishers. We'll head down to Quickwick Victory Lane to grab a word with tonight's feature winner here at Humberstone, Gary Lindberg.
He'll get the hat on. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, Gary Lindberg. Gary, this thing was a rocket ship, and only fitting to park it here in Victory Lane, what could possibly be the final time at Humberstone.
Yeah, we've tried here for so many years. We won so many sportsman races and just bridesmaid, I don't know how many times. Couldn't even keep track of it. Probably helped the 6 machine wasn't here tonight. Made it a little easier on us. But, you know, we had a good car. I didn't know where to be on those restarts. I thought the bottom 1 and 2, top 3 and 4. But the middle was good at first and 1 and 2. So I was just I didn't really know where to be, and I didn't want to give up another one. I've given up a lot, and we've had wrecks and, you know, broke stuff and just second. We've been second so many times, so it's good to finally get it done. We love this place.
You love this place indeed, and it's also a good way to kick off a very busy week in Central New York Super Dirt Week, and it's a pretty good feeling to kick it off with a win here at Humberstone.
Yeah, it gives us a little momentum moving in. I think we're going to run Brewerton Tuesday night. Luke Carlton came over and actually said he dragged the car down there for us and put it in his trailer and take it to the track and help us out, get it rolled out, ready to go. So we might go with that, and then we got the big block and small block during that dirt week. And, you know, these guys put together a good car this year. Every car I get in, it's fast and handles well, doesn't fall apart, and got to hand it to them.
Who do you got to thank for being here in Victory Lane?
All the guys that work on the car, my father-in-law, Doug, Mike, Nigel, Trent, Zach. Your wife? Yeah, my wife. John, Nigel, Mike, all the guys. Justin does our tires. You know, he did a whole whack of them the other night, and tires are a lot of work, and I got to do them sometimes too. And it's just a group effort. Everybody works hard at it.
Go celebrate this one.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Lindberg in Victory Lane at Humberstone. And if this has been it, 67 years is one hell of a ride. And we will bring this fine facility down, which was one of the best nights in the history of this racetrack. Thank you, Humberstone, and Godspeed as we remember this place here on Highway 3. Thank you, Humberstone, for everybody at this racetrack. Steve Petty wishing everyone a good night.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GForceTV. GForce TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.